Hello. Okay. Great. Let's wait for everybody.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi. What's up?
I don't know. It's been so long.
I know. Hi. Wow. It's almost like you're so far away and not in the shed behind my house.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, I can't really see the hat.
I wish maybe I'll put this on a razor. Is that better?
How does one
Wear a cowboy hat? You're
No,
asking the wrong person. I did, in fact, grow up in Southern California.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to wear a cowboy hat, but now I'm thinking maybe I need my computer to be a little higher up. Let's try it. Stop that! This is a serious event. How dare you?
I have to do that later in the scene.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just seeing what it looked like on Zoom to make sure it wasn't too like Attack of the Foot.
Yes, this.
Hi.
Everyone looks incredible.
Hello. Oh my
Good
gosh.
so far. Very good so far. I'm trying to figure out where to put my computer. Did you already own that? I feel like, did you already own that bolo tie?
Yes and no. I stole it from set. Stole it / like begged for the costume person to give it to me forever.
It seems like something you would absolutely already have.
And today I had a friend ask me for a elf Christmas hat, and apparently I have one too. So I just have the most random attire.
Like I have so many wigs, just nonstop wigs. Mal's wearing one of mine. It looks insane. Okay.
Are you gonna change it throughout the reading, or?
I'm gonna be on Hi! Oh my god, you look beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna be on camera for like a little bit in the beginning and like give an intro, and then I'm behind the scenes with Carl. So
Cool.
so I disappear at some point, and then it's just you guys, and I'll be in the chat and everything. If you want to drink during it, you can drink. You can like have a beer or whatever. What else? So there's like there'll be like Carl's gonna be running like cards at the beginning with like everybody's, it'll be like he made these very funny opening cards where he photoshopped cowboy hats on a lot of people. So, and there's like music and stuff, and then when we start, I'll do like an introduction and be like, thank you so much everyone for coming, and this is what we're doing, and then everybody just starts. Oh my god, Brian! And everyone can introduce themselves when everyone gets here, but wow. Yes. The dog, show the dog.
Oh, T'Challa, say hi.
Stop. How old is he?
2 months.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Is he both adorable and a nightmare?
He's mostly adorable. I'm actually very impressed. I think that whoever had him before, because he was like a surprise litter, him and his brothers and sisters. So they're like, can someone please take care of these little precious dogs? So they like held them, kept for like 2 months, and then I picked him up when I came back on Wednesday, and he's been good. He's been using his little pee pad. We just went for a little walk.
God.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good boy.
Normally puppies are such a thing, but he seems chill.
He's chill. I mean, he's literally a baby. So, I mean, there's a lot of like, let's run over to the pee pad and like, whining in his little crate and whatnot. But he's very good. He listens.
Oh my God. Is he going to get much bigger than that?
I don't think so. Like, I don't think he'll be more than 12 pounds. He's a Chihuahua and a pug. So I don't think there's much going on.
Oh my God. He's so cute.
Yeah. Hello.
That's so upsetting. Hi.
What's up, Leo?
Yes.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Incredible. Okay, so Brian, Leo, Alexandra, we're missing some people.
I'm just reading. I have it side by side Zoom, and is that okay? Just to be.
Yeah. I mean, people know that we're reading from a script. it's not gonna like shock anyone. I didn't expect you guys to be off book of
More
the
just like-
entire
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountain script.
In terms
No,
of
I need
eyeliner,
everyone to know their lines. Perfect. Hello, Malcolm.
Yes. These backgrounds, I'm just obsessed.
Oh, one of the people who goes so full out is Mal. Like costumes, like fully. My favorite was in Ocean's 11 when Mal and Mara were Carl Reiner and Elliot Gould. It was just like
That's next level. That set the bar.
Yeah, it was Jewish perfection.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, your mate are you on mute or no?
I'm not muted. No. Can you hear me?
I
Mute
can.
yourself for a second. Yeah, there's some noise behind you.
Let me try my.
Is this better?
Yeah, but you're quiet now. Nope. Now you're silent.
Oh, I'm silent.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, does anyone want to test their, like, Alexandra, do you want to test your mic?
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Perfect.
Jen looks amazing, always.
And
costume.
how does that?
Oh, you're beautiful.
Everything sound okay?
Yeah. So it's okay also to, like, wait a little bit in between lines so that you're not talking over each other, because sometimes there's, like, lag. This is luckily not a script that's, like, very, like, comedic timing heavy. It's a very slow and sad script. Okay. We are waiting on
I rewatched it this morning and it's so sad.
Yeah, Mel did too.
Me too, Jen.
Ugh.
I actually just finished it and I was like, that was a journey. And then Drew walked in the living room and was like, ready to do it again?
But all I could sit, I was sitting here with my fiance, I just kept thinking, like, fucking men, if y'all just talked, like, it took you 20 years to say anything.
I know.
Yeah.
They can't talk. They're just angry.
Ugh.
There was a lot
Yeah.
of grunting. I forgot about.
Yeah. It's so much. And yeah.
I'm gonna go finish getting ready. I'll keep you on audio so I can hear you.
Okay. We're waiting on Sam and Jordan. And who else? Is that it?
Brian, are you starting with the hat on? See, I told you.
And Theo. Oh, and Jack.
Baby.
I know, but the
like
minute
that
I
too.
put it on, it's staying on. Because as soon as I take it off, I get a new side part. I get a style I've never had before.
Magical had hair, it's part of the character.
I found this wig in my closet, y'all. It was just in there.
It's
I've
gorgeous.
been
I
there.
had, like this crazy wig like the whole time. So I
That's
was
perfect.
like,
yeah, she's very done up, Lorene.
Is any
I'm just gonna reimagine Alma as a closeted lesbian, and she's just a
that
frontier lesbian.
I love it.
That's canon. I'm pretty sure that's textual.
Frontier
slap
lesbian.
the wig to this side.
Is anybody else using headphones or should I just not bother with these?
I'm also using them, but
Yeah, I am too.
don't know,
Just in here.
for the echo, and I have an air conditioner on.
Okay. Okay. Oh, and Carl. Okay, so Theo, Jess, Jordan, Carl, I think are the people. Oh, and Sam. Yeah, I tried to cut down all of the descriptions because I was like, I don't think we need to like hear about sheep for 4 pages. Like, I think we got it.
Wait, Gabby, the description that isn't cut out of the last script you sent, that's all being read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah, the script that has the X's through some parts of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, here's Jordan. Yes! Cowboy hat.
What's up, y'all? How's
Hey.
everybody doing?
Hello, this is Jordan. Oh yeah, everyone can introduce themselves when everyone gets here. Okay, so Sam, Theo, and Jess. Where is Jess? Jess posted something where they are wearing the most cowboy. Like you're not even going to see the bottom of them, and they're still wearing like a belt buckle. All this kind of stuff.
Commitment.
They're another one that always goes full out.
Oh man, remember the Pikachu?
Oh, we did Alien and a Pikachu. They were what's the actor's name? Whatever. They were the actor where the alien comes out of their stomach, and they were they gave birth to a Pikachu live on camera.
Oh shit.
I forgot about that. That was so good. Okay, great. And you're not required. Wait, Jordan, is that in your house?
Yeah. The picture?
Yeah.
I know. I was like, it's so fitting. I'm gonna do it right here.
Wow. Wow. Okay, great. Oh, there's Carl. Perfect. Fellow producer. And then
Hi.
hello.
Hello.
Carl, this is everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Carl.
Okay, so Jess and Sam and Theo. Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
What?
Just I am literally as close to my Wi-Fi router as I possibly can be. I cannot promise there won't be, obviously with Zoom, any sort of glitching. How do you all navigate that? Just like
Carl?
Can you ask that one more time? Sorry.
I'm as close to my Wi-Fi router as I possibly can be, but our Wi-Fi sometimes with Zoom, as many folks haven't experienced, will glitch or pause or whatever. So I'm just wondering what the best way to navigate that is for you all.
Yeah, if you're having an issue, you can just ping me in the Zoom chat. I'll have that open during the stream, and if we need to,
You can pause and restart and everything.
Yeah, we'll have an opportunity to edit this if we need to, since it's just a recording. So don't worry too much about that. But
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Jess has costume changes. Jess.
I have costume
Whoa.
changes.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Okay. So now it's just Sam and Theo. Right? Yeah. Okay, great. Does everyone have everyone knows who they're playing? Yeah.
The script, that would be good to have up.
It's the one that I X things out of.
Yeah.
It's hard because when you have a script that's like a PDF, you can highlight or whatever, but this was just scanned, I presume in 2004.
Dude, the way that I did it was I literally used the tool where you draw a rectangle onto the file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Commitment. Okay, great. If people want to introduce themselves, we're just waiting on Theo and Sam. So if people want to say who they are, I'm Gabby. I'm in charge of this.
Yes.
Yay.
And then
I'm Brian. I'll be reading for Jack.
Amazing.
I'm Leo. I'm reading Ennis.
Yes.
Look at the jacket.
Yes.
So
the
cute.
Jacket's so good.
Oh my god.
Wow, did
Get
you
real
have
hot
that?
real quick.
Oh
I'm
wow.
not-
Oh yeah. Okay, if you want, if you want, you can change your name to your character.
Oh, right.
Will we be able to do that throughout?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They On YouTube they won't be able to see it anyway.
Oh,
So it's
that's
just for
true.
you. It's just for you and Carl.
Yeah. Let us have it.
Okay.
Who's working guy who talks? Oh, good. Nice.
Gabby Dunn, famous producer. I can't.
Gabby Dunn.
The long suffering.
Very famous millennial.
Long-suffering wife.
Amazing.
Yes, I'm Jen Richards. I'm playing Alma, the long-suffering wife.
The long suffering one.
Jack Twist. Jack Nasty.
Okay, was that line improvised? Because it's not in the script.
Yes,
It
it
is in the
is.
script.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's in the
really?
script. Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
It's just ridiculous. But I love that that's just the worst she can come up with.
Yeah.
More like Jack Nasty. Devastating blow
Monologue is
there, Alma.
amazing, though. That monologue is so good.
Truly.
Okay.
Let's see. Got my popcorn, got my pan, got my scrub brush, got my magazine.
Yes. Eating snacks.
Okay.
We go to the drive-in. You gotta have popcorn at the
You
drive-in.
gotta.
Right.
Absolutely.
Jen just likes to have food somehow.
Just gives me an excuse to eat more.
Right.
I feel that.
We.
The casual magazine to.
Oh,
Still
there's
trying to
Theo.
finish off the Rusty Ryan character.
There's Theo.
Did you wait? So
Hi.
did
Hi.
you guys have
Hey.
the Ennis and Jack jackets already, or did you get them for this?
I already had this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
You both had
I knew
That's
exactly what
incredible.
I was gonna wear when I saw it. I was like,
Okay.
what the heck?
Oh, great.
I don't have a
Jack here.
cowboy.
Amazing.
I don't have a cowboy hat. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh my God, y'all
There's
look
got to be a
amazing.
cowboy hat filter on this somewhere, right?
Oh my
Probably.
God, yes. I ordered one literally for this.
Same,
Yeah, Mal
same.
ordered ones for us too.
Aw.
Yeah, it was very sweet. I'm not even gonna be on camera. I don't know what I'm dressed up to like do the intro. Like truly,
Then you can
I know,
pass
Becca-
your cowboy hat to Drew.
I know.
Gabby,
not
Becca
ready for
showed me
the
your
band.
Instagram. And she's like, "Oh, Gabby's already. She's dressed up." I'm like, she's not even on camera. What's she all dressed up?
Like the beginning to introduce it, and then I like did my makeup. I don't know. It's like quarantine, so I'm like, I need a reason.
Yes, any excuse.
Yeah.
You look great. Lean into it.
Okay, great. Sam, hello. Okay,
Hi.
cool.
I'm just finishing up the dinner. Hi.
Okay, hi. I'm Gabby. Well, let's do introduction. I'm Gabby, and then Brian, do you want to go?
Yep. Hey, I'm Brian Michael Smith. I'll be playing Jack Twist.
Oh my God, Brian, you look amazing.
I'm Leo Sheng, and I'm playing Ennis.
I'm Alexandra Gray. I'm playing Twist.
Hi, I'm Jen Richards. I'm playing Alma the wife.
Yes.
No way.
Oh my God. Wow.
I'm Jordan. I'm playing multiple people.
Yeah.
Starting off with Basque.
Vico Ortiz also playing multiple people, starting with LD Phillips.
Mal.
Hi, I'm Mal Blum. I'm playing various gruff men and Anna Faris. Spoiler alert is in this movie.
Yeah, Linda Cardellini and Anna Faris are in this movie, and the guy from Stranger Things. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, because he's I was like, wow, I didn't know he played a gay.
Mars.
Hi, I'm Mars. I'm playing Francine Randall, bartender and photographer.
Oh my God, your background is amazing.
Thank you.
Did you take that yourself?
Oh my God.
I wish I did.
Yeah, he took that picture.
Yeah.
I just want you all to know that I asked Gabby if I could use Ram Ranch in the intro sequence of this, and she said no.
Oh yeah, and I was like, no, there will be no gay porn cowboys at the intro of this beautiful. Drew.
I'm Drew Gregory. I'm playing Cassie Cartwright and a couple other people.
Linda Cardellini, baby. Who didn't go? Jess, Jordan.
I went.
What's up? I'm Jess, Tom. I am playing a guy who can't shut up, an asshole biker, and Jake Gyllenhaal's grieving mother.
Oh.
The range.
The range. We'll
Wow.
see. They're all gonna be. It's gonna be like, God, what is Jess doing?
And Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm just rolling in from having to see my mother, so I'm a little out of sorts. But I am the narrator.
And then who didn't go?
I didn't go.
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead.
Go first.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm Theo. I am playing Joe and Monroe. Yeah.
And I think are there other little ones?
I think. Oh, for me, I thought those were the only. I thought those were the only two ones.
Okay, cool.
That's it.
And then Carl.
I'm Carl. I'm a producer with Gabby on this
Okay.
wonderful little journey we're on.
And Carl, do you have anything you need to say, or can we just, you think, because it's going to be so it's already recording on my end on the Zoom, but you're recording. Do you have everyone in gallery view, or how do you have it?
I have it in speaker view right now, but we can talk about how we would like to do that. Do you have a pref?
How about the way that we have been doing it with speaker view and then like 4 people on the side? Is that doable?
Yeah.
And can you change
totally.
the 4 people?
I don't think I can, unfortunately.
Okay, so maybe we should just do speaker view.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm also recording here, so I can actually keep it here on gallery, and then if we change our minds, we change our minds.
Right.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
I just don't remember. Are you able to change your name after you join the meeting, or do I have to leave?
Oh yeah, you can change your name.
I can't figure it. Okay, I can't figure it out on my phone.
It's just the ellipses.
Oh, it's on the phone.
Gabby, I have a question.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I've been a little slammed, and I should have opened this up and reviewed it sooner. But when you're asking me to narrate,
yeah,
I don't see anything that says narrator. So does that just mean reading all the cues?
Yeah, reading the descriptions.
Okay.
I sent one where I X'd out some stuff, so it's not as long. Okay, and some of that is like broken up a little bit, like some pages are fully blacked out, and then some are like there's a little part in the middle. A lot of times we try to not, if it's like a conversation going back and forth and it's like Ennis laughs and then it like keeps going, we kind of try to not do the short ones. But like,
and you cross those out.
I didn't block all of them out. I blocked out I think I blocked out most of the ones I wanted to block out. But like at your discretion, if people are like, really in it and you're like, I shouldn't, but also if there's pauses and stuff, this isn't live. A lot of times we do it live, but this isn't live. So this one can be edited. Okay.
So if for some reason I'm not speaking, feel free to just say Sam, and then I'll know that I'm supposed to be reading something.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna do an intro and then we're gonna start. Is everyone cool?
Yeah. For the bits where there's Alma Jr. and Francine, but they're not talking, do you still want us to be like in there, or like if we're not talking?
Yeah, because you guys are. Well, there's one where like you're crying, or like there's like in the background, or they'll say like they're playing or whatever. Yeah, at your discretion, you can do like little kid stuff or whatever.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna. Carl, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Let me do speaker view for now. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brokeback Mountain's hashtag. Okay, sorry, hold on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brokeback Mountain, hashtag Make It Gay live read. I'm Gabby Dunn, very famous producer. And myself and my fellow producer, Carl St. Lucie, put this together for Newfest. It is an all-trans reading of Brokeback Mountain. And it stars Alexandra Gray as Lorene, and Jen Richards as Alma, and Brian Michael Smith as Jack, and Leo Shang as Ennis. And I'm very excited. And Sam Feder is going to be reading our narration. And then there's a beautiful Oscar bait-worthy cast of trans actors here. And so I hope you enjoy. Oh, I should explain what the point of these reads, and we've been doing them all through quarantine, is to showcase queer and trans talent in big, famous, usually cis, straight, white male movies to prove that it can be done. And so it's the 15-year anniversary of Brokeback Mountain, and so we wanted to honor this big gay film, but also it is a very cis white film. So we don't typically do gay movies, but we're making an exception. So I hope you enjoy.
Is that my cue?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Brokeback Mountain, a screenplay adapted from an Anne Proulx story and Larry McMurdy and Diana Osana. February 1st, 2003. Exterior, highway, night near dawn, 1963. This is Enes Del Mar, not yet 20, but nonetheless compelling. Not light or frivolous in disposition, appearance, or manner. Uncommonly quick reflexes. A high school dropout, country boy with no prospects, brought up to hard work and privation, rough-mannered, rough-spoken, inured to the stoic life, has outgrown his faded denim cowboy shirt, his wrists stick out well out of the sleeves, the buttons gap. The truck stops with a screech of air brakes in front of a service station, just opening for the day. An old man is rolling a tractor tire as big as he is into the garage. Ennis steps out of the truck, no suitcase, just a grocery sack stuffed with his only other shirt and pair of Levi's. The truck moves again, almost before he hits the ground, spraying him with the dust. Tall, raw-boned, lanky, possessed of a muscular, supple body, made for the horse and for fighting, he stretches, looks at the old man, who looks back at him sourly. One of Ennis's boot heels is worn, has to adjust for the turn of the heel as he walks. No one in sight on the street of Signal. Exterior, Signal, Wyoming, trailer, day. The sun is full up, though it is still early. A gentle breeze whistles. Ines sits, is it Ines or Ennis? Anyone remember?
Ennis.
Ennis, okay. Ennis sits on the steps of a dingy trailer house. A crooked sign above the door says Farm and Ranch Employment Agency. Smokes, waits, sees an old green pickup with a bad muffler approaching. And Ennis becomes aware that the muffler is not the pickup's only problem. It coughs, sputters, rattles from several junctures as it pulls into the gravel parking lot of the agency and dies. The driver sits for a moment in the driver's seat, then gets out and slams the door of the pickup in disgust. Looks at it much as the old man had looked at the tractor tire. This is Jack Twist. Like Ines, a rough country boy with little education, but somewhat different in appearance. Ennis.
Yeah.
This is Jack Twist. Like Ennis, a rough country boy with little education, but somewhat different in appearance and attitude. A little less stoic, a little more of a dreamer. More welcoming, appealing with a quick laugh. 19, not as tall as Ennis, more compact and muscular, thick, dark hair, worn jeans, bull rider's belt buckle, faded shirt, stubbly beard, straw cowboy hat. Whew, I'm gonna have to take a break for a second. Boots worn to the quick. Doesn't notice Ennis. The steps of the trailer house are still in shade, but when he does, he stiffens a little, looks at him, looks away. Then the two ignore one another completely. Exterior, Signal, Wyoming, trailer day later. 8 a.m., the wind is picked up considerably. An old white Buick station wagon races along a street congested with pickups pulling horse trailers. The station wagon whips into the parking lot, throwing dust over Jack, who hastily concludes his shaving operation. The station wagon stops about 2 feet from the steps of the trailer office. As Ennis jumps up to get out of the way. The driver, Joe Aguirre, middle-aged, stocky, no fool, hair the color of cigarette ash and parted down the middle. Foam dice hanging from the rear view mirror. He gets out, then reaches back in for an oversized container of coffee. Joe glares at Ennis, then Jack. As he heads for the trailer offer store, neither boy moves. Joe goes inside. Door slams. Ennis sticks his big, raw hands in his pockets. Jack considers checking under his hood. Sticking his head out the door, Joe.
You pair of deuces are looking for work. I suggest you get your asses in here. Pronto.
Ennis picks up his groceries, sack of clothes, looks over at Jack, heads inside. Jack follows. The door forcefully slams behind them. Interior trailer office, day, continuous. Dusty, choky little trailer office. Venetian blinds hanging askew. The one desk littered with papers. The bakelite ashtray filled with butts. Only one chair for guests. A pair of binoculars hangs from a nail in the wall behind Aguirre's desk. Neither Ennis nor Jack sits. Ennis smokes. In the background, a small, old black and white TV plays a news story about then President Kennedy. Joe in his swivel chair gives them his point of view.
Forest Service got designated campsites on the allotments. Them camps can be 3-4 miles from where we pasture the woolies. Bad predator lost if there's nobody looking after them at night. What I want is a camp tender in the main camp where the Forest Service says, but the herder pitch a pup tent on the QT with the sheep and he's going to sleep there. Eat supper, breakfast in camp, but sleep with the sheep, 100%, no fire, don't leave no sign. Roll up that tent every morning in case Forest Service snoops around.
Ennis is balancing a long ash on his cigarette, considers the ashtray, which is overflowing onto Joe's paperwork, finally just taps it into his hand. Phone rings, Joe picks it up, listens, frowns.
No. No, not on your fucking life. God, got the dogs, your 30-30 sleep. Your 30-30 sleep there last summer had goddamn near 25% loss. Don't want that again. You, Fridays noon, be down at the bridge with your grocery list and mules. Somebody with supplies will be there in a pickup.
Joe stubs his cigarette in the overflow ashtray, grabs a cheap round watch on the braided cord from a box on a high shelf, winds it, sets it while Jack and Ennis look on, tosses it to Ennis as if he's not worth the reach.
Tomorrow morning, we'll truck you up to the jump off.
Picks up the phone, pauses, looks at them hard. Awkward, they realize they are dismissed. Exterior Signal, Wyoming, trailer day, continuous. The door to the trailer slams shut behind them. Jack walks down the 3 steps outside the trailer. Ennis stops, stands on the lowest step of the trailer, looks around at the bleak surroundings. Jack smiles, sticks out his hand.
Jack Twist.
Ennis.
Your folks just stop at Ennis?
Del Mar.
Oh, nice to know you, Ennis Del Mar. Since we're going to be working together, I reckon it's time we start drinking together, huh?
Ennis looks at his watch that Joe gave him. We see it's 8:30. Ennis nods at Jack. Interior, bar, morning. The bar room is large and cavernous. All the stairs are stacked upside down on the tables. It's empty, except for a bartender and waitress, both middle-aged. The husky bartender stands behind the bar and stocks bottled beer into the cooler. The skinny, middle-aged waitress cleans ashtrays in a sink. Ennis and Jack enter the dingy bar. Sunlight bursts into the dimly lit room, startling the bartender and the waitress. Ennis and Jack wait a moment for their eyes to adjust to the darkness. Bartender.
We ain't open till 10.
Me and my partner here, we got us a summer's worth of drinking to do today. Reckon we're going to need an extra hour.
Told you, we ain't open at 10. Told you, we open at 10.
The waitress glares at the bartender.
Aw, lay off them, Royce. They're just buttons. You boys have a seat.
Royce shrugs. Did he shrug? Waitress.
Oh, I said that already. Do you want me to say it again?
No, let me move on. Joy and Ennis, Jack and Ennis take their seats at the bar. I'm trying to read and look at you all at the same time because you're fun, and I'm clearly not juggling this well.
You're doing
Jack,
great.
thank you, famous producer. Jack and Ennis take their seats at the bar. Ennis lights up a smoke. The waitress finishes drying an ashtray on her apron, places it in front of Ennis.
Now then, what do you have?
Bud, please.
Bud.
Interior bar day later. Ennis and Jack still sit at the bar, each nurse a long neck. Ennis peels the label, each nurses a long neck. Ennis peels the label from his bottle. A few empties sit in front of Jack.
It's my second year up here. Last year, one of the storms, the lightning killed 42 sheep. I thought I'd asphyxiate from the smell. And we need to take plenty of whiskey for when the lightning starts.
The waitress arrives, frowns, looks pointedly at Ennis' bottle, still half full.
You drinking that beer, or was he planning to grow flowers in it?
Ennis looks embarrassed, is about to say something, but Jack speaks first.
Tell you what, man, you just keep lining them up.
Waitress smiles and walks off.
I ain't got but a buck and some change.
Hey, you drink up. I'll worry about the tab.
Jack and Ennis chug their beers, slam the bottles on the bar. Waitress returns with 2 open beers.
That's more like it.
Waitress gives each boy his fresh beer, gathers the empties, and leaves.
What was you saying about lightning?
He smoked some sheep. McGuire got all over my ass like I was supposed to control the weather. But the beat's working for my old man. Can't please my old man no way. That's why I took to rodeoing. You ever rodeo?
Once in a while. I can afford the entry fees.
You been ranching people?
I was.
Folks run you off?
No, they run themselves off. One curve in the road and 43 miles and they miss it. Killed them both. Bank took the ranch. Brother and sister raised me mostly.
Shit. That's hard. 2 shots of whiskey, right quick.
We see them pull out signal in an agency pickup driven by a short, silent Basque. Ennis looks hungover, holds his head. Jack, though, is sharp and alert. They pass the gas station. Ennis glimpses the same sour old man sitting on the tractor tire. Basque.
You boys need to stick close to them sheep. Don't let them stray. Joe'll have your ass if you do.
Friend, you worry about the driving. We'll worry about the sheep, all right?
They drive in silence. Exterior, trailhead, Brokeback Mountain. 2 sheep trucks and a couple horse trailers have unloaded at the trailhead to Brokeback Mountain. They are high but still in the trees. The bleating of 1,000 sheep fill the air. The Basque is showing Ennis how to properly pack a mule, deftly hitches on 2 packs as Ennis watches. Jack is already horseback. Several blue heelers circle the sheep.
Only thing, don't ever order soup. Them boxes of soup are hard to pack.
Eat soup.
Jack comes riding up with a blue heeler pup tucked inside his coat.
That horse looks like it's got a low starter point. Might throw you and that pup both.
I doubt there's a horse in this string that can throw me. Let's get, unless you want to stand here and tie knots all day.
Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, day. The 1,000 sheep, the dogs, the horses, Jack and Ennis, and the pack mules slowly flow out above the tree line into the vast flowering meadows of the mountainside. We linger on this trek for a bit, as the sheep spread out onto the expansive treeless plain, nothing in sight but sky and land, high clouds. The grass weaves in the endless coursing wind. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, day, sunset. From a distance, the sound of sheep. Jack tends the fire, drinks from a whiskey bottle. Ennis, thorough and relentless about his chores, finishes setting up the tent. Sits down next to Jack on the edge of the platform as a vast sunset turns the sky orange. Pass a bottle of cheap whiskey back and forth. Just like someone to volunteer to make the sound of the sheep next time that we come around. Jack?
And that Jack Aguirre sleep with the sheep, no fire. Shit. I can't wait till I got my own spread. I won't have to put up with this shit no more.
I'm saving up for a place myself. Me and Alma will be getting married when I come down off this mountain. You going up with the sheep?
Not tonight. Tomorrow. That Joe. He's got no business having us do something that's against the rules.
Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, day, montage. A, we see Jack tending the sheep. A blustery day, the wind combing the grass, drawing from the slit rock a bestial groan. Anybody want to make the groan? Ennis cooking dinner, banded pebbles and crumbs of soil casting pebble-long shadows in the late afternoon light. Ennis riding up to the sheep, where Jack sits napping. Jack, riding back to camp, dusk, shoots at a coyote, misses, and is cleaning pots and pans in a mountain stream. Ennis and Jack eating around the campfire, the rearing lodgepole pines below them massed in slabs of somber malachite. Jack, saddling up, leaving camp, turns back to Ennis.
Hey, no more beans.
Ennis nods. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, Jack's camp, night. Jack in his dark camp, lit only by moonlight, sees Ennis at nightfire, a red spark on the huge black mass of mountain. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, bridge, noon. Ennis finishes packing the 2 mules, steps back, looks at the mules, and shakes his head. The Basque watches. Basque.
Something wrong?
Seems light. Where's the powdered milk and spuds?
All we had.
The Basque read through Ennis's current list.
Thought you didn't eat soup.
Sick of beans.
Way too early in the summer to be sick of beans.
Ennis ignores Basque's comment. The Basque shrugs, gets in the truck, drives off. Ennis mounts his big, rangy buckskin, cigar butt, and leads the 2 mules back up the mountain. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, day. Ennis atop cigar butt leads the 2 mules along the trail. Brokeback Mountain looms in the distance, an eternal postcard. It is clear Ennis enjoys the ride, the silence of the high country whistles. Round a bend, cigar butt balks, spooks, rears up, startles a small black bear in the middle of the trail, who, also scared, promptly runs off into the woods. Ennis is thrown, lands hard, rolls on the rocky ground. Cigar butt races off the trail, pulling the 2 mules along with him, through the trees and the undergrowth, tearing the supply packs, scattering food everywhere. A bag of flour breaks, creating a white cloud. Ennis sits up. His temple is cut and bleeding profusely. Blood runs down his cheek. Ennis gets up, stiff and angry. Following the trail of food, the broken bag of flour, a carton of smashed eggs to find his horse and mules. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, dusk. Jack is back from the flock, hungry, looking for his meal. Ennis is nowhere to be found. Jack looks in the tent, empty. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp. The campfire light flickers on Jack's face as he finishes off a can of beans. Jack looks around at the surrounding forest, knows Ennis wouldn't lag. He's clearly worried. Takes a swig out of a whiskey bottle. Gets up, paces. We hear a twig snap. Jack looks up. We see Ennis ride into the camp atop cigar butt, dismount, somewhat obscured by the darkness. Jack is more worried than angry, tries to disguise his concern with indignation.
Where the hell you been? Up here with the sheep all day. I get down here hungry as hell, and all I find is beans.
Silent, Ennis walks towards the tent, fire illuminating his face. He sits on the log by the fire. We see the cut of his forehead gaping now, dried blood covering the whole side of his face. Jack is startled by the sight of blood all over Ennis's cheek.
Good God, Ennis, what happened?
I'm on a bear. The horse spooked, took off, pulled the pack mules along, scattered food everywhere. Beans about all we got left.
Jack hands a canteen to Ennis, who slaps it away.
Whiskey.
Jack picks up the whiskey bottle, hands it to Ennis. Ennis grabs the bottle, takes a swig. Jack removes the bandana from around his neck, wads it up, takes the whiskey from Ennis and pours some to the bandana, raises the bandana to Ennis's forehead. A beat. Jack hesitates, awkward, hands the bandana to Ennis. Ennis takes the bandana and slowly dabs it at the cut on his own temple. Winces. Jack winces too.
Shit. We're gonna have to do something about this food situation. Maybe I'll shoot one of the sheep.
What if Aguilar finds out? We're supposed to guard the sheep, not eat them.
What's the matter with you? There's 1,000 of them.
I'll stick with beans.
I won't.
Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, meadow, day. We hear a rifle shot and Ennis lowers a 30-30. We see a 2-point buck dead on the ground. Jack, smiling, whooping, stands behind him looking in the direction Ennis just fired.
Woo, woo! Meat on the table tonight, boy! Woo!
I was getting tired of you missing.
Come on, let's get a move on. Can't let the Forest Service catch us out here with no deer.
Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, late afternoon. Jack comes lopping in on his bay mare, dismounts, heads for a wet sack hanging off a tent pole, pulls out a beer, chugs it, looks irritated.
You know, I'm commuting 4 hours a day, come in for breakfast, go back to the sheep, evening get them bedded down, come in for supper, go back to the sheep, spend half the night checking for damn coyotes. Aguilar ain't got no right to make me do this.
You want to switch? I mean, I wouldn't mind sleeping out there.
Ain't the point. The point is, we both ought to be in this camp. And that goddamn pumpkin smells like cat piss or worse.
Wouldn't mind sleeping out there.
Well, I'm happy to switch, but I'm giving you warning. I can't cook worth a shit. I'm good with a can opener, though.
Can't be no worse than me, then. Sure, I wouldn't mind to do it.
Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, Ennis camp, night. Ennis packs a few biscuits and a jar of coffee onto his big, rangy buckskin cigar butt. Mounts. Jack takes his rifle into its saddle, scabbed off his saddle, and hands it to Ennis.
You won't get much sleep, I'll tell you that.
Ennis silent takes it and rides off across the frosty ground. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, Ennis's camp, evening. Jack peels potatoes for dinner. Ennis only has his jeans and boots on, no shirt, before a large basin of hot water, and shaves.
Shot a coyote. Big son of a bitch. Balls on the size of apples. Looked like he could eat a camel. You want some of this hot water?
It's all yours.
Ennis pulls off his boots, no socks. Pulls off his jeans, no underwear. Slaps the washcloth under his arms, between his legs. Jack fixes dinner, glances over at Ennis now, and then the smoke of a cigarette dangling from his mouth. Impassive. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, Ennis's camp, night. Ennis sits, supper finished, his back against the long boot soles to the fire, 2 empty bean cans with spoons in them nearby, a few leftover fried potatoes. Jack has just taken a piss, is buttoning his jeans, having trouble with his rodeo belt buckle.
I don't rodeo much myself. Only kind of ride that interests me lasts longer than 8 seconds. What's the point of riding some piece of stock for 8 seconds?
Money's a good point.
Sure enough, you don't get stomped winning it.
No, my old man was a bull rider. Pretty well known in his day, though he kept his secrets to himself. Never taught me a thing. Never once came to see me ride.
Jack reaches over for a bean can, begins to scrape the last beans out of the bottom.
Your brother and sister do right by you?
The best they could after my folks was gone, considering they didn't leave us nothing but $24 in a coffee can. Got me a year of high school before the transmission went out on the pickup. My sis left, married a roughneck, moved to Casper. Me and my brother got work on a ranch up near Moreland. We got married last month, so no room for me. And that's how come I end up here. What?
Friend, that's more words than you spoke in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That was the most I've spoken a year. My dad now. He's a fine calf roper. Didn't rodeo much though. Thought rodeo boys were all fuck ups.
The hell they are.
Jack gets up, does a pretend bull ride around the campfire, bucking and twisting, finally throwing himself, collapses in a heap beside Ennis. Both are laughing so hard they're almost crying. Exterior Brokeback Mountain, night. Ennis rides into the night wind, through the glimmering frost, back towards the sheep, happy, thinking he's never had such a good time, feeling like he could paw the white out of the moon. Looks back, sees the light from the camp, where Jack sleeps. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, dusk. We see them pitching a new camp, more primitive this time, no platform. Jack and Ennis are friendlier, more familiar with each other, laugh and joke as they struggle with the tent. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, night. The tent is a little lopsided, but finally up. Ennis is trying to adjust a tent pole. Jack is sitting by the fire, playing a slightly damaged harmonica, squalling the old Tex Ritter rodeo tune, Bad Brahma Bull. A whiskey bottle sits next to him.
This tent don't look right.
It ain't going nowhere. Let it be.
The harmonica don't sound quite right.
Well, I just kind of got flattened when I got bucked and the mare threw me.
But you said that mare couldn't throw you.
She got lucky.
If I was lucky, the harmonica would have broken too.
Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, night, later. Drunker still, Jack sings a Pentecostal hymn, Water Walking Jesus, a sad, dirge-like rendition, causing coyotes to yip in the distance. Jack.
You know, my mama, she believes in the Pentecost.
Exactly what is the Pentecost? Folks was Methodist.
Well, the Pentecost is, hell, I don't know. I don't know what Pentecost is. My mama, she never explained it. I guess it's like when the world ends and fellas like you and me march off to hell.
Speak for yourself. You may be a sinner, but I ain't yet had that opportunity.
Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, night, later still. The moon is full up, notched past 2 a.m. Ennis is dizzy drunk on all fours, struggling to stand.
It's too late to go out of them damn sheet. Got an extra blanket? I'll roll up out of here and grab 40 winks. Right out at first light.
You freeze your ass off when that fire dies down. You better off sleeping in the tent.
Doubt I'll feel nothing.
But he staggers under the canvas, pulls his boots off, falls asleep on the ground cloth, snores. Jack follows, crawls inside his large bedroll. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, night, yet later still. Coldest point of the night. Ennis shivers, teeth chatter uncontrollably.
Jesus Christ, quit hammering and get over here. Bedroll's big enough.
Ennis too cold to protest, crawls inside. Interior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, tent, dark, just before dawn. Jack is wide awake now. Ennis on his back is half asleep. Jack, tentative, takes one of Ennis's big hands from outside the bedroll and guides it inside, down towards his own groin. Ennis, coming full awake, realizes where his hand is, jerks it away as if he's touched fire. As the following action occurs, we pull away to the night landscape, and we only hear the sounds, the belt being unbuckled, rustle of jeans, Ennis spitting, sharp intakes of breath. Ennis raises up, gets to his knees, unbuckles his belt, shoves his pants down with one hand, uses the other to haul Jack up on all fours. Jack doesn't resist. Ennis spits in the palm of his hand, puts it on himself. They go at it in silence, except for a few sharp intakes of breath. Ennis shudders, then out and down. The camera moves back inside the tent as both fall asleep. Interior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, tent, full light. Ennis is wide awake in a red dawn. Jack is sound asleep. Ennis has a top-grade headache, crawls out from under the bedroll, his pants around his knees, pulls up his pants, goes inside the tent. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, day, morning, later. Ennis has just mounted cigar butt. Jack, fastening buttons, comes out of the tent just in time. Jack.
See you for supper?
Ennis nods. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, day. Clear day, though it's summer. There's a biting little wind. Jack, wearing only his boots, is doing laundry, shivers. Squats by the stream, carefully wrings out Ennis's only other shirt, a denim button-up, Western-style shirt, and hangs it on the long branch, next to the combined wardrobes. 3 pairs of Levi's, 2 shirts, 2 bandanas, no undergarments. Neither wear socks or underwear. Interior, exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, tent, night. Ennis and Jack are in the tent together. Jack is in the bedroll. Ennis dresses.
Them coyotes will feast if I don't head on back.
Ennis pulls on his shirt in a small confines of the tent, scoots out, pulls on his boots, ready to head back to the flock. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, night. Jack and Ennis outside, between a log and a blazing fire, having just finished what they had done in the last few nights in the tent. Ennis leans back against the log. Far below, we see the lights of vehicles on a highway miles away, the cars and trucks crawling slowly across the plain. Jack scoots up, leans back against the log too. Lights a cigarette. A beat.
One-shot thing we got going here.
One-shot thing. Nobody business but ours.
I'm not no queer.
Me neither.
Ennis smokes. Looks up at the stars. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, day. Binocular POV, continuous. We see the main camp of Brokeback through a pair of binoculars. Pan the camp. Horses, dogs, they're not quite in focus. Focus sharpens, 2 men pulling off their clothes, laughing, cutting up. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, day, continuous. We see the binoculars belong to Joe. He is horseback, looks at his watch, raises the binoculars, looks again, lowers them. It's clear from the expression on his face that he doesn't like what he sees, doesn't like it at all. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, afternoon. Jack is chopping firewood. Joe comes riding up, fixes Jack with a bold stare. Joe.
Twist, your Uncle Harold's in the hospital with pneumonia. Docs don't expect he'll make it. Your ma sent me to tell you, so here I am.
That's bad news. Ain't much I can do about it up here, I guess.
Ain't much you can do down there neither. Not unless you can cure pneumonia.
Glares at Jack, raises binoculars. Looks at the direction of the meadow, towards Ennis. Lowers the binoculars and shoots another stern look at Jack. One more time in the binoculars. Y'all are not following my candid directions. Thank you. Turns, rides off. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, camp, night. The wind is picking up. Ennis and Jack are gathering dishes, blankets, trying to grab their gear before it blows away. The sides of the tent begin to buck and pitch. Then hailstones begin to pepper down. Jack. They both scramble inside the tent, pull the flap, but the wind whips it back open. The tent is popping so hard now it seems as if it might blow away.
And sheep will drift if I don't get back out there tonight.
Well, you get pitched off your mountain in a storm like this. If you wish you hadn't tried it, nothing you can do now.
Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, day. A grim, gray morning. Ennis and Jack, both mounted, the blue heelers at attention, glum, looking at a huge mass of milling sheep. 20 yards away, 2 Chilean sheep herders are looking just as glum as the huge mixed herd, gesturing wildly.
What are we gonna do?
I can handle this. You speak Spanish?
Son of a bitch.
Tell you what, me and my partner here, we're gonna go cut out our sheep. Is that okay with you?
Chilean sheep herders look at Jack, then at each other, confused. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain, day. Wind, windy, gritty, cloudy weather. Ennis, Jack, the blue heelers, and the two Chileans work in confusion of sheep and dust, trying to separate the 2 herds that have mixed. Jack holds a sheep, tried to look at its paint brand, which is faint at best.
Christ, half the goddamn paint brands are wore off.
Ennis trying to edge a pitiful little group of sheep out of the way.
Gotta try. At least we can get this number count right for Aguirre.
Oh, fuck Aguirre.
Fuck Aguirre. What if we need to work for him again? We gotta stick this out.
Jack doesn't respond. He leans down, examines the paint brand again. Ennis resumes the weary task of separating out the rest of the herd. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain day. Jack and Ennis herd the sheep, reconstituted at best they can, move along on the high treeless slope of Brokeback Mountain, kept in order and in motion of the dogs. Jack, in a better mood now, is doodling on his harmonica, tries to play Hank Williams' Call-Ga.
Don't run the sheep off again if you don't quiet down.
Jack keeps playing. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain day. Ennis crawls out of the pup tent, shivering. A foot of snow covers an extraordinary beautiful plain. But the sun is up, gleams brilliantly off the snow, which is already beginning to melt. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain main camp day. Ennis lops into the camp on cigar butt, but there are only a few patches of snow left here and there. Jack is busily packing gear.
Aguar showed up again. Says my uncle didn't die after all. Says bring him down.
Bring him down.
Says there's another storm coming, moving in from the Pacific. Worse than this one.
Well, it's the middle of August. That snow barely stuck an hour.
He's the boss. I ain't.
Ennis dismounts. Exterior, Brokeback Mountain camp morning. Their tent is stuck, camp gear piled high. Ennis and Jack, boots off, pants on, shirts unbuttoned, are wrestling. Two boys at horseplay. Ennis is only half playing, tense. Jack is trying to lighten his mood. Ennis slips, trying to avoid a hold, and Jack accidentally knees him in the nose. Blood pours, getting on both of them. Ennis jumps to his feet. Jack immediately gets up, tries to stanch the bunch coming from Ennis's nose with his own shirt sleeve, and Ennis cold cocks him in the jaw, causing Jack to stagger back and fall on his ass. Jack looks up at Ennis, rubbing his jaw, too stunned to say anything. Ennis looks down at him, wiping his bloody nose on his denim sleeve, furious and despairing all at once, more emotion stirring in him than he knows what to do. Turns, picks up his saddle. Joe Stern and not exterior, Signal, Wyoming, sheep pens, day. Joe Stern and not pleased walks amid the milling sheep, looking them over. The boys watch from the fence.
Some of these never went up there with you. The count ain't what I hoped for, neither. You ranch stiffs ain't never no good.
The boys shift uncomfortably. No response. Exterior, Signal, Wyoming, street, day. Relentless winds, hard and cold, snow flurries. Ennis and Jack stand awkwardly by Jack's old green pickup. Jack has the door open, one foot on the running board. Big bruise coming off his jaw from where Ennis punched him. Ennis, distracted, rifles through a paper sack with his clothes.
Left that damn shirt up there.
A beat. A dust plume rises and hazes the air with fine grit.
Gonna do this again next summer?
Maybe not. Like I said, all my me's getting married in December. We're trying to get something on a ranch. You?
I might come back if nothing better comes along. I thought something about going up to my daddy's place, give him a hand over the winter, and maybe head out to Texas for the spring. The draft don't get me.
The wind tumbles an empty feed bag down the street until it fetches up under Jack's truck.
Well, see you around, I guess.
Right.
They shake hands, hit each other on the shoulder. Jack gets in his pickup, adjusts the rearview mirror, drives away. Ennis puts his hand in his pockets, watches him go, stands there in the wind. It has begun to spit snow. Jack's pickup is soon out of sight. He starts across the street toward a bar, but just before he gets to the door, Jack's leaving proves too much. He feels like someone's pulled his guts out, hand over hand, a yard at a time. He stumbles into the alley, drops to his knees in the whirling new snow, kneels there, silent as pain, longing, loneliness overpower him. Emotions stronger than he's ever felt for another person consume him. He feels as bad and confused as he's ever felt in his life. He punches the wall, blooding both his knuckles. His eyes fill with angry, stinging tears. A cowboy passes the alley, pauses, looks at Ennis. Ennis glares at him.
What the fuck are you looking at?
The cowboy moves on. Interior, church day. Ennis, Alma, a small woman, pretty, sweet-looking, young, big hair, at the altar in a little pine box of a church. A few cowboys, Ennis's raw bone sister and brother, Alma's little parents and little grandmother. Ennis in a new Levi shirt and a bolo tie, nervously adjusting his collar. Alma in a J.C. Penney wedding dress, happy, or curtain. Exterior, Wyoming, highway, winter day, 1964. Ennis and Alma are in Ennis's truck, spinning donuts in a parking lot. The truck is sliding this way and that on the icy snow. Alma squeals into light, Ennis whoops it up. Ennis's truck skids into a snowbank. He and Alma sit in the front seat laughing. The tiny radio plays Roger Miller's Dang Me.
I'm gonna have to get out and push. You scoot over here and guess it when I say.
How about you stay right there and I'll scoot on your lap.
Alma slides over onto Ennis's lap, her legs across the seat. They kiss. Exterior, Wyoming, highway, spring day. Ennis in a dozer cap shovels asphalt behind an asphalt dumper. Sweat blooms from his t-shirt collar, sagebrush tall along the highway, swaying in the hot wind. Ennis's coworker, Timmy, a fat, bespectacled, annoyingly loquacious middle-aged man with a bad case of plumber's butt, works alongside him, talks incessantly. Timmy.
My old lady's trying to get me to quit this job. Says I'm getting too old to be doing this. I told her strong backs and weak minds run in my family. Didn't think that was too funny. I told her keeps me fit. For hunting anyways.
Ennis shovels.
47 different species in Wyoming alone. Woo! Was telling Pat, no, I ain't gonna eat them. No way, mushrooms is poison, but he kept at me.
Road boss approaches. Timmy shuts up. Road boss.
Pick it up, boys. Del Mar can't work a shovel and listen to your damn yammering too.
Timmy shuts up. Ellis, impassive, spits, wipes the sweat from his brow, continues to shovel. Exterior, Riverton, Wyoming, drive-in, night. You see Ennis and Alma at the drive-in eating popcorn. Paul Newman and HUD is on the movie screen. Alma has her head on Ennis's shoulder. Ennis has his arm around her. She cuddles a little closer. He kisses her. Exterior, Signal, Wyoming, early summer day. Jack drives through town in his truck, which rattles and sputters louder than ever. Drums his fingers on the steering wheel in time to Faded Love, by Bob Wills, and his Texas Playboys, which blares from his fuzzy radio. Eyes the sidewalk and dilapidated storefronts, as if looking for someone. Ennis, nothing, just a skinny kid on a bike being blown around by the wind, and two old women pulling their grocery carts. Exits the truck, stretches. The wind almost blows his hat off, but he catches it. Walks to the trailer, holding his hat on his head, squinting. Interior, trailer house, Signal, Wyoming, day. Joe sits with his feet on his desk, flipping through a newspaper, chewing on a toothpick. A cigarette smolders in the ashtray. Jack enters the trailer, the door slams behind them. Joe looks up, disgusted and annoyed.
Well, look what the wind blew in.
Howdy, Mr. Jaguar. I'm wondering if you need any help this summer.
Wasting your time here.
Ain't got nothing?
Nothing up on Brokeback? Sorry.
Here,
Wrong line.
let's start from
Yeah,
Theo's.
can we go back?
Let's
that'd be
start
great,
from Theo's
actually.
first line.
Thanks. Well, look what the wind blew in.
Howdy, Mr. Jaguar. Wondering if you're needing some help this summer.
Wasting your time here.
You ain't got nothing? Nothing up on Brokeback?
I ain't got no work for you.
Joe stares coolly at Jack. No nonsense. An awkward moment. Jack fingers the brim of his hat in his hand. Looks as if he wants to say something more. Starts for the door. Pauses. Turns back.
Ennis Del Mar ain't been in, has he?
Joe glares at him even harder. The wind hits the trailer like a load of dirt coming off a dump truck. Eases, dies, leaves a temporary silence.
You boys sure found a way to make the time pass up there.
Jack gives him a look, then sees the big binoculars hanging on a nail on the wall behind Joe's head.
Twist. You guys wasn't getting paid to leave the dogs babysit the sheep while you stem the rows. You get the hell out of my trailer.
Exterior Del Mar Ranch House, day 1966. Shot of a little line cabin on a vast High Plains ranch. The little house is so alone, it looks as if it sits at the edge of the world, windy, bitter cold. Alma, a toddler girl on her lap, waits at the screen door, sees Ennis pick up, pulling a horse trailer, approach. It is a dot on the long, long road. Alma looks lonely, pretty, though dowdily dressed. Interior, children's bedroom, Del Mar Ranch, house, night. Ennis walks over to the bassinet where the baby Francine is wheezing and coughing. He picks up Francine and cradles her. 2-year-old Alma Jr. gets out of her little bed and toddles over to her daddy, hugs his leg as he rocks Francine.
Get back in bed now, darling.
Alma Jr. minds her daddy, waddles back to her bed and crawls under the covers. Ennis puts Francine, who has stopped crying, back into her bassinet and walks over to Alma Jr.
Be a good girl for your mama tomorrow. I'm gonna take you into town this weekend and we can get you an ice cream.
Ennis kisses her forehead and walks back to his bedroom. Interior bedroom, Del Mar, ranch house, night. Alma, cute, and at her most seductive, comes and sits by Ennis, wraps her skinny arms around him.
Girls all right?
Francine stopped her coughing. Told Alma Jr. we're going to town this weekend.
Ennis, can't we move to town? I'm tired of these lonesome old ranches. I'm scared for the baby, scared to be this far from the clinic. What if she has one of them bad asthma spells?
Slipping his hand up her blouse sleeve.
I guess.
You could work the road crew again.
We'll have to talk about that.
You know, there's a little apartment for rent in Riverton. It's over the laundromat, so it's probably cheap. I bet I could fix it up real nice. Alma Junior's 2 now. She needs to be in town, close to the other kids.
Ennis touches her breast, then moves his hand downward.
I got no objection, as long as it's cheap and I don't have to do the laundry.
Hugs him hard as she becomes excited. Begins to squirm against his hand. They kiss. Then Ennis rolls her over.
Ennis.
Her backside is facing him. Does quickly to her what he has done with Jack. We see her face. She hates this, but she doesn't protest. Exterior, small town arena, summer night. A cowboy comes flying off a Brahma bull. Only when he hits the ground do we realize it's Jack. He hits hard, turns his ankle. The bull, angry, slobbering, is right on top of him. Jack rolls, can't get up, then the rodeo clown comes jumping in at the last second, distracts the bull, leads him safely past Jack. The bull nearly tramples the rodeo clown. Jack, deflated and embarrassed, looks over at Jimbo, sits down at the bar, drinks. Exterior, Riverton Park, 4th of July, night. Ennis, Alma Jr., and Francine. Alma spreads a blanket on the ground, preparing to settle her family in to watch the fireworks. We see other Rivington citizens setting up. A few assorted roadies drinking beer, families relaxing, couples relaxing near the Del Mar family. Other children with their parents play nearby.
Should move closer.
Oh, let's don't. Francine will get scared. You know she hates fireworks.
A marching band strikes up a tiny, slightly off-key rendition of the battle hymn of the Republic. Alma Jr. crawls into her daddy's lap.
Here we go, darling.
2 bikers approach an area just behind the Del Mar family. Around the same age as Ennis. Biker 1 has a few teeth missing. Biker 2 limps, dragging a clubfoot. Each carries a half-empty bottle of liquor, loud, profane, already drunk. Sits themselves down on the grass behind Ennis and his family.
That skanky B word fucks around on me, I'm gonna slap her good.
Wouldn't put up with that shit if I was you.
Alma shoots Ennis a nervous look. Ennis takes a deep breath, turns, looks over his shoulder at the two drunks.
You always want to keep it down. I got two little girls over here.
Hey, fuck you.
Indignant, they stare at Ennis. Just suddenly you're from Boston. Indignant, they glare at Ennis at the first of the fireworks, shoots into the sky, exploding in the air in sync with the verse. Bombs bursting in air, beginning the show.
Come on, Ennis, let's move.
Ennis, trying to control his mounting anger, gently sets Alma Jr. onto the blanket and stands up, facing the drunks.
Want no trouble. But you need to shut your slot bucket mouths.
You want to listen to your old lady then? Move somewhere else.
Alma stands now, Francine on her hip. Alma Jr., clutching her mother's skirt, quickly gathers up the blanket.
Come on, Ennis, let's go.
Ennis looks back at Alma, then kicks Spiker 1 right in the face, blooding his nose and knocking him out cold. Alma and the girls move away in horror, the fireworks and the music in the background. Several of the surrounding families are quickly packing up to get away from the brawl.
What about it? Want to swallow about half your teeth?
Spiker 2 has his palm...
Not tonight, bud.
Go ahead.
Not tonight, bud. I'd sure rather not.
Backs away, dragging his unconscious friend along with him. Alma and the girls stare at Ennis, stunned and wide-eyed. They have witnessed a kind of fury in him that they have never seen before. Exterior, rodeo arena. Childress at Texas night. In the arena, we see a young woman dressed in the flashiest, most costly rodeo finery, the most stylish barrel racing clothes on a fine, expensive quarter horse, running the barrels. Tips one, but it doesn't quite fall. She rounds the last barrel and whipping the horse as if she's in the home stretch of the Kentucky Derby. Races out of the arena, as the announcer says.
Here she comes, ladies and gentlemen. Look at her fly, Miss Maureen Phillips, right from here in Childress, Texas. Oh boy. And her time is 16 and 9/10 seconds. Let's give her a big hand.
The words are drowned out by the crowd giving Lorene a big hand. Exterior, behind arena, night continuous. Jack sits on the tailgate of his old pickup, tapping his right hand for his upcoming bull ride. Hears applause. Looks around, sees the quarter horse and the young woman come flying out of the arena, everybody standing way back, giving her room. Just as she passes Jack, her hat flies off, lands at his feet. The horse's speed carries them almost to the street. Jack reaches down, picks up the hat. Lorene trots back, patting the sweaty horse on the shoulder to calm him. Jack hands her hat back to her, sees a classically pretty face, though heavy makeup causes her to appear rather severe. Jack looks up at her for a moment. She allows herself to look down at him, notices his thick, dark hair, his appealing face, his sturdy body. She takes her hat, then passes on. Jack watches her ride back to the arena, walks back to his truck. Interior, rodeo arena. Childress, Texas, night later. Jack, flattered by the attention of the rodeo queen and trying to show off, hangs onto a tough spinning bull, actually makes a fine ride. Good dismount. Doesn't need to clown this time.
Oh boy, let's see what the judges say. That sure looked like a wooden ride to me.
Exterior rodeo arena. Childress, Texas, night. Later still. Jack is proudly carrying his bull riding buckle and his gear to his old pickup. The photographer yells at him.
Jack, we need to get pictures of all you winners before anybody leaves.
Exterior rodeo arena. Childress, Texas night. Even later still. Lorene, perfectly coiffed, the only female among a lot of ragged cowboys, happens to stand next to Jack. Sideways look, likes him.
Say cheese.
Jack and Lorene smile. Flash goes off.
Mr. Twist, it was real nice of you to pick up my hat.
Oh, no big deal. It just fell off practically in my lap.
Lorene direct, smiles again. Interior, bar night, yet later still. Lorene sits at a table, Jack at the bar. Every now and then he glances at her. Every time she is looking right at him.
You know that girl?
I sure do. Lorraine Phillips. Her dad sells farm equipment. I mean big farm equipment. $100,000 tractors, shit like that.
Jack looks again. Lorene is still looking right at him. This time, impatient, she gets up and comes straight to him.
What are you waiting for, cowboy? A mating call?
Jack flushes. She leads him into the dance floor. The jukebox plays Kitty Wells. It wasn't God who made honky tonk angels. Interior Del Mar apartment, Riverton, morning. Dreary little apartment, peeling wallpaper, faint sound of washing machines coming from below. Alma, baby Francine on her hip, coffee cup in her other hand, watches from a window as Ennis tries to start his pickup. It coughs, sputters, finally catches. Alma sets the coffee cup down on the windowsill, waves, but Ennis doesn't see her and drives off. Dust swirling on the pavement. Another pickup pulls in front of the house just after Ennis leaves. The town grocer, Monroe, a chubby little man in a grocer's apron and cap, steps out of the truck and carries 3 bags of groceries to the front door. Alma opens the door and greets him. Though shy, he's obviously thrilled to see her.
Morning, Alma. Where would you like him?
You just said him. Go ahead.
Alma, though pleased, is surprised by this gesture.
Set him there on the table. I told you, Monroe, you don't got to do this.
Monroe steps inside and sets the groceries on the cluttered table.
I got a few bags going over to Mrs. Fry's. She busted her hip. You're out on the way.
Alma likes Monroe's good nature, sets Francine down and gets her purse from the counter. Francine immediately toddles out of the room.
Well, I sure do appreciate it. What do I owe you?
Monroe pulls the receipt out of his pocket and looks at it.
$8.17.
Alma hands a $5 bill over to Monroe, then scrapes the bottom of her purse for change. She comes up with another $2 in quarters, hands them to Monroe.
I still owe you $1 and some change. I swear I had the change in a cup somewhere.
Don't you worry about it, Alma.
Why? Thank you, Monroe. I'll have it next time then.
Next time, ma'am.
Monroe tips his hat to Alma, walks to the door, and exits. Alma follows him, waves goodbye through the screening door. Interior hospital maternity ward day. Lorene, triumphant but tired, has just delivered little Bobby. Her mother and father, L.D. Phillips, and her husband, Jack, stand there by the bed as the nurse brings the infant.
Oh, LD, I can already see who he looks like.
Just as Jack is reaching out his arms for his son, the nurse is about to hand little Bobby to him. Old L.D. Phillips makes a smooth interception, takes the baby right out of her hands.
Oh, I can see it too, Mother. He looks exactly like me.
Ignores Jack completely. Lorraine gazes adoringly at her father. Interior Del Mar apartment, Riverton, evening, 1967. Ennis comes in, dusty, dirty. 2 little girls, one running, one toddling, Alma Jr. and little Francine, eager to see their daddy. Alma is at the stove, has made chicken fried steak, makes gravy.
Hey, Ennis, you know somebody named Jack from Texas?
Ennis, about to pick up Francine, stops. Ennis.
Ennis, do you hear me?
I might. Why?
Well, you got a postcard. It come general delivery.
Ennis steps to the table, picks it up. We see a raw bone hand holding a postcard. We read it. Friend, this letter is long overdue. Hope you get it. Heard you was in Rivington. I'm coming through on the 24th. Thought I'd stop by and buy you a beer. Drop me a line if you can. Say if you're there. The hand trembles ever so slightly. Alma, busy with cooking, doesn't notice.
Is he somebody you cowboyed with or what?
Puts the postcard down, picks up Francine.
Jack rodeos, mostly. We were fishing buddies.
His voice trails off. Alma Jr. clamors for him to look at her coloring book. Francine gurgles and coos. Alma stirs the gravy. The effect of the postcard goes unnoticed. Exterior, Riverton, post office day. Ennis stands at the corner, has a blank postcard. We see him write. Jack Twist, RFD2, Childress, Texas. Turns it over, writes, "You bet." Signs it, Ennis Delmar, and then puts his own address on the card. Hands it through a postal slot. Interior Delmar apartment, Riverton day. Ennis has taken the day off, paces wearing his best shirt, white with wide black stripes, looks in the mirror, looks out the window down at the street, pale with dust. The girls chase each other through the living room. Alma fans herself with a magazine.
Maybe we could get a babysitter. Take your friend to the knife and fork. It's too hot to cook anyways.
Jack ain't the restaurant type. We'll more than likely just go out and get drunk. If he shows.
Interior Delmar apartment, Riverton, late afternoon. Several beer cans on the table, ashtray full. Thunder growls in the distance. Ennis no longer paces, sits at the table wondering. We hear the sound of a pickup. Ennis jumps up, looks out the window, sees the old green pickup slowing on the street in front of the laundromat. Exterior Delmar apartment, Riverton, late afternoon, continuous. The wind is picking up. Lightning, thunder are closer now. Jack gets out of his pickup, stiff, his beat-up restorol tilted back on his head, holds it steady to keep it from blowing off. Interior, outside, Delmar apartment, landing, Riverton, late afternoon, continuous. Ennis has stepped out of his apartment, closes the door behind him as he sees Jack taking the stairs 2 at a time. Sees each other by the shoulders, hug mightily, squeezing the breath out of each other, saying, son of a bitch, son of a bitch. Then, as easily as the right key turns the locked tumblers, their mouths come together. Interior, Delmar apartment, Riverton, late afternoon, continuous. The wind from the storm outside blows through the Delmar apartment, pushing the front door open, and Alma sees Ennis straining shoulders. We do not see the kiss, we only see Alma's point of view. Ennis's back, his head tilted sideways and downward, but it's clear what they are doing.
Oh
Jack's
my.
hat. Jack's hat. Jack's hat falls off. Alma quietly and quickly shuts the door. We see Alma inside the apartment now, backs away from the door a step or two, pale, struggling, trying to take in what she's just witnessed. Interior, outside Delmar apartment, landing, Riverton, late afternoon, continuous. Ennis and Jack have pulled back from one another when Alma slowly opens the door again, only a few inches this time, and stands in the narrow light looking out. Ennis turns, sees Alma peeking out. Jack picks up his hat.
Alma, this is Jack Twist. Jack, my wife Alma.
Ennis, his chest heaving, does not turn away from Alma, but he can still smell Jack. The intensely familiar odor of cigarettes, musky sweat, and a faint sweetness like grass, and with it the rushing cold of the mountain.
Alma, Jack and me ain't seen each other in 4 years.
Alma, though, has seen what she has seen, understands many things now, having aged in years in the space of a few moments.
Sure enough.
Behind her, lightning lights the window like a white sheet waving, and baby Francine cries. Jack. Jack trembles.
You got a kid?
2 little girls, Alma Jr. and Francine. I love them to pieces.
Yeah, I got a boy, 8 months now. Tell you what, I married a cute little Texas girl down in Childress, Lorraine.
Jack and me is going out and get a drink. Might not get back tonight. We get to drinking and talking.
Sure enough. Sure enough.
Pleased to meet you, Alma.
Ennis?
Alma, you want smokes? There's some in a pocket in my blue shirt in the bedroom.
Exterior motel siesta night. We see the exterior of a rundown small town rough country motel in Riverton. Interior motel, siesta, room, night. Clothes strewn around the room. A few empty whiskey bottles. The room blue with cigarette smoke. Ennis, shirt off, leans against the hardboard. Jack sits on the edge of the bed. Both smoke.
We got to talk about this. I swear to God, I didn't know we was going to get into it like this again.
Ennis gives him a look.
Yeah, I did. I redlined it all the way. I couldn't get here fast enough.
4 years. I was about to give up on you. Figured you were sore about that punch.
Friend, that next summer, I drove all the way back up to Brokeback, talked to Aguirre about a job. I heard you hadn't been back there, so I left. I headed down to Texas for rodeoing. So I met Lorene. I made $3,000 that year bull riding. Fucking starved. Drove grooves across Texas. And half the time under that cunt truck fixing it. Lorene's old man got some serious money, some farm machinery business. Of course, he hates my guts, so it's hard to go now. But one of these days.
Army didn't get you?
Nope. Too busted up. Rodeo ain't like it was my daddy's time. And guys with money go to college that trained athletes now. I'm getting out, but I can still walk.
I've been sitting up here all this time trying to figure out if I was. I know I ain't. I mean, we both got wives and kids, right? I like doing it with women, but Jesus H. And nothing like this. Never had no thoughts of doing it with another guy.
Me neither. Old Brokeback got us good. We got to work out what we're going to do now. Because, friend, we got us a situation here.
Ennis looks at Jack, stubs out a cigarette.
Doubt there's nothing we can do. What I'm saying, I built off a life them 4 years ago. I love my little girls.
What about Alma?
Alma? It ain't her fault. And what about you? You got your wife and baby, that place in Texas. Besides, you and me can't hardly be decent together if what happened back there grabs onto us like that. What do? We do that in the wrong place. We'll be dead.
Sits up on the edge of the bed, gets up, goes to the dingy little bureau and gets another pack of cigarettes.
No reins on this one, buddy. It scares the piss out of me.
Look, I'm getting out of the rodeo, Ennis. I don't got the bucks to ride out this slump I'm in, and I don't got the bones neither. What if you and me had a little ranch together? A little cow and calf operation. You know, it'd be some sweet life. Shit, Lorene's old man, I bet he gives down payment if I get lost. Already more or less said it, basically.
No, whoa. Ain't gonna be that way. I'm stuck with what I got here. I'm caught in my own loop. Jack, I don't want to be like them guys you see around. I don't want to be dead.
Flashback, exterior, side of the road, Wyoming, day. Low angle, Ennis's father leads Ennis and K.E., Ennis's older brother, to the edge of the irrigation ditch. Camera is on their backs and Ennis's father's head is out of the frame. As we approach the ditch, we see the toes of two boots appear. 9-year-old Ennis and 11-year-old K.E. look down at Earl's corpse. The rest of Earl's body is out of view.
There's these two old guys friends together down home, Earl and Rich. It was a joke, even though they was pretty tough old birds. They found Earl dead in an irrigation ditch. They took a tire iron to him, spurred him up, drug him around his dick till it pulled off.
K hides his face in his father's shirt. We see the young Ennis looking down at the body. As his eyes widen, we see the horror wash over his 9-year-old face. Cut back to interior, motel siesta, room, night, continuous. Another beat.
You seen that?
I was, what, 9 years old? Dad made sure I seen it. Me and my brother K.E. Dad laughed about it. Hell, for all I know, he'd done the job. If he was alive, I must have put his head in that door right now. You bet he'd go get his tire iron. Two guys living together? No way. You can get together once in a while, way the hell out back in the nowhere.
Well, once in a while, every 4 fucking years.
I've been looking at people on the street. Just happened to other people? What the hell do they do? I goddamn hate it that you're going to drive away in the morning. I'm gonna just go back to my life. But if you can't fix it, Jack, you gotta stand it.
I don't give a flying fuck about other people. Son of a bitch, Ennis, take a couple days off. Right now. Throw your stuff in the back of my truck. Let's head up to the mountains. Come on, Ennis. You just shot my airplane out the sky. Give me something to go on. This ain't a little thing that's happening here.
We hear a phone ringing off in another motel room. As if he's answering, Ennis picks up the phone on the bedside table and dials his own number. Interior Farm Expo, Texas Day. 2 dark, dour, overowled farmers are watching Jack demonstrate a fancy air-conditioned tractor. Jack, who can drive anything, is doing a fine job putting the tractor through its paces.
Didn't that pissant used to ride the bulls?
He used to try.
Interior grocery store, Wyoming, early evening. Alma, a little older and a little less skinny, though still just as cute, is clerking at the grocery store now. As she rings up groceries, we see Monroe, now a manager, wearing a cheap tie, flirting, smiling at her. Alma smiles back. The customer leaves. Alma and Monroe are alone. Monroe opens up a box of Junior Mints and eats one.
Monroe, what are you smiling about?
Monroe, chewing, smiles even wider. Did we lose Monroe?
Theo, you here?
Hi, Monroe.
Hi, sorry, I was just having like a weird issue with my phone. Can we go back?
Yeah, let's start
Okay.
from
Awesome.
95.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Interior grocery store, Wyoming, early evening. Alma, a little older and a little less skinny, though still just as cute, is clerking at the grocery store. As she rings up groceries, we see Monroe, now a manager, wearing a cheap tie, flirting, smiling at her. Alma smiles back. The customer leaves. Alma and Monroe are alone. Monroe opens a box of Junior Mints and eats one.
What are you smiling about?
Nothing.
Gotta be something.
Just happy, I guess.
Monroe throws a Junior Mint at Alma.
Stop that.
Just then, Ennis walks into the store. Monroe and Alma immediately stop their flirting. Ennis walks up to Alma's counter. Monroe hurries back to the office, afraid of Ennis.
2 packs.
Who's watching the girls?
They're outside in the truck.
I could have brought you smokes. Oh, hold on. Sorry, can we back up? I hit the wrong button on my laptop and it went to the end.
Yeah.
What page are we on?
We are on page 56. 55.
All right. Where's a good place to back up to?
I'll start at the middle. Just then, Ennis walks into the store. Monroe and Alma immediately stop their flirting. Ennis walks up to Alma's counter. Monroe hurries back to the office, afraid of Ennis. Ennis, pointing to the cigarette behind the counter.
2 packs.
Who's watching the girls?
They're outside in the truck.
I could have brought home your smokes. Besides, it's way past their bedtime.
Well, the quicker you give me them damn smokes, the quicker they'll be home in bed.
Exterior Wyoming Ranch Coral Day. Exterior Wyoming Ranch Coral Day. Ennis, still a ranch hand, is dehorning steers in a squally, snow-spinning day. Bloody grim. Interior, Twist House, West Texas, day 1974. Jack is in the bedroom, cramming clothes into a duffel bag. Struggling to get the bag zipped up, finally gets it. Lorene walks into the room, blowing on her nails.
Why can't your buddy come down here to Texas to fish?
Cause the Bighorn Mountains ain't in Texas.
Don't seem right. You driving up there 2 or 3 times a year. Him never coming down here.
Jack finds another shirt that he needs, looks at the packed, zipped duffel bag, throws the shirt back into the closet.
Son of a...
You're not listening.
You seen my warm jacket?
You said you would help Bobby with his social studies.
Look, I told you, Lorene, he needs help with his reading. Why aren't you called the school yet? They said they set him up with a special teacher. Now look, I got 14 highway hours ahead of me. I gotta go. You sure you ain't seen my jacket?
No, I haven't seen your goddamn jacket.
Interior Del Mar apartment, Riverton, night. Ennis puts on his coat, is about to leave on a fishing trip.
Monroe says they got an opening over at the power company. Maybe you can check on it when you get back.
Ennis nods, barely acknowledges Alma's request. Alma Jr. and Francine reach up to be kissed goodbye. Alma hugs him. He gives her a brief one-arm hug. Ennis is almost out the door. Alma picks up his tackle box.
Hey, you forgetting something?
Ennis takes the tackle box, leaves. Exterior campsite, Bighorn Mountains, night. Ennis in his pickup truck pulls up to a campsite. He can see in his headlights that Jack has already set up camp. Toots the horn, smiles. Jack comes out of the tent, the intense pleasure of being with Ennis all over his face. Interior Del Mar apartment, Riverton, evening. Ennis slouches in front of the television set, nursing a beer, watching David Carradine and Kung Fu. The girls, ages 8 and 10, play cards on the floor nearby. Alma, restless.
You know, it's Saturday night. Looks like you'd want to step out once in a while, have a little fun.
Ennis drinks his beer, doesn't answer. Interior, Ennis and Alma's bedroom, night. Alma, already in bed, reads a True Confessions magazine. Ennis is getting undressed. Alma, a faintly hopeful look on her face, peeks over the top of the magazine at her husband. He doesn't notice. Ennis goes to bed. They begin to make love.
As far behind as we are in the bills, it makes me nervous not to take precautions.
Ennis.
If you don't want no more of my kids, I'll be happy to leave you alone.
I'd have them if you'd support them.
Turns his back to her, faces the wall. Alma, a look of despair on her face, reaches up and turns off the bedside lamp. Interior, divorce court, day, 1975. Ennis and Alma in a bleak little courtroom. Divorce court.
Divorce granted.
Alma looks determined, looks sad, but determined. Cries quietly. Ennis looks miserable. Interior, Wyoming highway. Jack's truck, day, continuous. We see Jack inside, happy, feeling like he could drive for days and days without sleeping. Sings along with the radio, playing Patsy Cline, Crazy. A postcard rests on the dashboard of the truck. Jack picks it up, looks at it again. We see what it says, divorce final, E. Jack sings along with the music, with exaggerated gestures, can't stop grinning. Exterior Del Mar ranch house, day, continuous. Ennis seats Alma Jr. and Francine inside the truck, shuts the passenger door, and walks around to the driver's side, just as Jack's truck pulls into his driveway, blocking Ennis's truck. Ennis is surprised, puzzled as to why Jack is there, but is nonetheless, as always, thrilled to see him. Jack gets out of the truck, walks up to Ennis. They hug one another mightily.
What are you doing here?
Got your message about the divorce.
Ennis considers a moment, still doesn't understand.
The message said your divorce was final. So here I am. I had to ask about 10 different people in Riverton where you was living.
Ennis sees now what has happened. Jack thinks mistakenly that Ennis has come around, that this is their chance finally to be together. Smile leaves his face, rubs his jaw, takes a deep breath, uncomfortable. Jack looks at Ennis, and the smile leaves his face too. Realizes now that he made a terrible mistake. Turns pale, his body sags under the weight of disappointment. Humiliated, then devastated. Curses at himself under his breath.
Guess I thought.
Jack, I got the girls this weekend. Otherwise, you could stay. Sure as hell sorry. I only get them once a month. I missed last month because of the roundup. Jack.
I'll see you the first week in June then.
Turns away, wanders back to his truck. The postcard still in his hand. Gets in, drives off. Ennis watches him go. Exterior, Texas Plains, day. We see Jack blazing along in his pickup truck. Radio plays Merle Haggard's My Friends Are Gonna Be Strangers. Begins to cry, hard. But something has turned inside him. He looks desolate but determined. Knows where he's headed. Exterior, Texas, Mexican border, Juarez, late afternoon. We see a road sign, Juarez. We see Jack in his pickup truck crossing the border into Mexico. Interior, Cantina, Mexican border town, night. Jack sits at the bar, lonely in a foreign land, sips tequila out of a shot glass. The Mexican bartender walks over to Jack. Jack waves without looking back. Exterior, Mexican border town, night, street, continuous.
Can we take that back? You skipped one of Vico's lines.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll take it from 108. I wasn't prepared for so much reading. Okay. Interior, Cantina, Mexican border town. Jack sits at the bar, lonely in a foreign land. Sips tequila out of a shot glass. The Mexican bartender walks over to Jack.
Uno más?
Jack shakes his head, throws a few pesos to the bartender, stands and walks to the door.
Buenas noches, señor.
Jack waves without looking back. Exterior, Mexican border town, night, street, continuous. Jack walks out of the cantina and into a sultry Mexican night. The street swarms with activity. Jack stops, hesitates a moment, then nods. They walk off together. Jack, Lorene, Bobby.
Sorry. You're doing amazing, Sam. Can we take it to a handsome young Mexican for just because Jack's about to go get fucked, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me 1 sec.
Thank you. You're a champion.
Okay. You ready, Jack? You're gonna get fucked. Okay.
You're doing great, Sam.
Thanks, Jennifer. A handsome young man, masculine, dressed for a night out, makes eye contact with Jack, gives him a knowing, seductive look. Jack stops, hesitates a moment, then nods. They walk off together. Jack, Lorene, Bobby, age 8, Lorene's long-suffering mother and LD Phillips, Jack's prick of a father-in-law. The table is set for a full Thanksgiving dinner, huge turkey and all the trimmings. As everyone shuffles into their places at the table, we hear Howard Cosell's voice in the background coming from the TV, commenting on the game plan of the Dallas Cowboys. Jack is at the head of the table and has just reached for the carving tools when LD, older but no kinder, takes them right out of his hands, almost as if he did the baby.
Whoa now, Rodeo. Stud Dub does the carving around here.
Jack, having been through this kind of scene many times before, tries nonetheless to be gracious.
You bet, LD. I just thought I'd save you the trouble.
Bobby is riveted to the television set. Lorene notices.
Bobby, if you don't eat your dinner, I'm going to have to turn off that television.
Lorraine flashes a look at Jack, who then gets up from the table, turns off the television, sits back down. Bobby slumps back in his chair and pouts.
You heard your mama. You can eat your dinner, then you can watch the game.
LD Phillips sets down the carving tools, goes to the TV, turns it back on.
Daddy?
Hell, we don't eat with our eyes. Nothing wrong with the watching the America's team. Boys ought to watch football.
Not until he finishes the meal his mama spent 3 hours fixing.
Jack walks to the TV, turns it off, returns to his seat. Lorraine, Bobby, and Lorraine's mother are all startled. Jack has never stood up to LD like this before. They watch, silent. Now LD Phillips stands again, goes to the TV, turns it back on, returns to the dinner table.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Game will be over before we're through dinner.
Now Jack flashes a look at Lorraine, who does nothing. He gets up from the table, grabs his hat and coat from the rack by the front door. He leaves.
Where the hell's he going? Fine pass. The family can't even get through a Thanksgiving dinner.
Daddy?
The boys ought to watch football. Right, Mother? You want your son to grow up to be a man, don't you?
Lorraine ignores him, smokes. Interior Monroe household, Thanksgiving night dining room. Ennis sits next to Francine. Monroe sits at the head of the table. Alma across from Monroe. Alma Jr. sits across from her daddy. The girls are about 9 and 7, respectively. Ennis dressed in a clean Levi's jacket and a bolo tie, his shirt collar threadbare. Monroe at the head of the table carves a large turkey. Alma is visibly pregnant. Ennis tries to be cheerful for his girls, not wanting to be a sad daddy.
Daddy, tell us about when you rode horses in the rodeo.
It's a short story, honey. Only about 3 seconds I was on that Bronc. And the next thing I knew, I was flying. Only I wasn't no angel like you. Didn't have no wings. And that's the story of my saddle Bronc career.
His girls love him. Their faces rapt when their daddy speaks. Monroe is smug. Despite his unromantic appearance, he has Alma. Interior Monroe household, Thanksgiving night kitchen. Ennis has gallantly brought a dinner plate or two into the kitchen, sets them on the counter, leans against the counter. Alma is scraping food off the dinner plate.
You ought to get married again, Ennis. Me and the girls worry about you being alone so much.
One's burned.
You still go fishing with Jack Twist?
Some.
You know, I used to wonder how come you never brought any trouts home. I always said you caught plenty. You know how me and the girls like fish. So one time, I got your creel case open, and the night before you went on one of your little trips, price tag still on it after 5 years, and I tied a little note on the end of the line. It said, "Hello, Ennis. Bring some fish. Love, Alma." And then you come back looking all perky and said you caught a bunch of browns and just ate them up.
Looks over at Ennis, a stiff smile on her face.
You remember?
Ennis doesn't answer. Alma's scraping harder and faster, as if she means to take the pattern off the plate.
I looked in the case first chance I got, and there was my note still tied there. That line ain't touched water in its entire life.
Alma turns on the water in the sink, sluices the plate.
That don't mean nothing.
Don't lie to me. Don't try to fool me no more, Ennis. I know what it means. Jack Twist, Jack Nasty. You and him.
Ennis grabs her wrist and twists it. Tears spring to her eyes and drops the dish.
Shut up. Mind your own business. You don't know nothing about it.
I'm gonna yell for Monroe.
Oh, you fucking go right ahead. Go on and fucking yell. I'll make him eat the fucking floor and you too.
Just get out! Get out! Get out! You hear me, Ennis Delmar? You get out!
Almost crying hard now, years of pain and anger welling up and spilling over. Interior Monroe household. Living room, Thanksgiving night, continuous. Ennis takes the living room in about 2 strides, ignoring the startled Monroe, who is smoking a cheap after-dinner cigar. Ennis grabs his hat, shoves it on, while little Francine yells.
Daddy!
That's really surprising. Can you do that one more time?
Daddy!
Ennis turns, gives both his girls a big hug and kiss. Slams out. Exterior Monroe house, Thanksgiving night, continuous. Snowing, Francine and Alma Jr., confused, a little frantic now, wanting to be all right again, follow their daddy out into the front stoop to the little farm, to the little frame house.
Bye, Daddy. Daddy.
God, it's so creepy. Gets to his old, battered pickup, looks back at his little girls, gets in, bales of hay collecting snow in the truck bed, rumbles away. Exterior downtown Riverton, black and blue Eagle Bar, night. Ennis parks across the street from the black and blue Eagle Bar, gets out, and without looking or bothering about the thin traffic, walks across the street towards the bar. A pickup with roughnecks in it a pickup with roughnecks in it has to brake sharply to keep from hitting him. So sharply that their dog, an ugly, tough-looking mongrel, is thrown out of the back, nearly run over by traffic coming the other way.
Hey, fuckhead, watch where the fuck you going. You nearly got my dog killed.
Without hesitation, Ennis runs around the pickup, yanks open the driver's door, drags the huge man out into the slushy street, pummeling him and kicking him, knees him in the nuts. The second roughneck, astonished, gets out to help him, but Ennis and the first roughneck are rolling around in the street, hitting and gouging whatever one of them can get their hands free. Traffic is stopped, including the big, tired pickup that almost hits the dog.
What the hell's the matter with that cowboy?
Ennis and the roughneck roll right under the big, tired pickup that is stopped, temporarily lost from view. A crowd has gathered. Some get down to peer under the truck.
Well, that cowboy must be loco. Folks don't usually jump on Herschel like that. Herschel, he's stout.
Interior, Ennis's pickup truck, night 1976. Ennis, thoroughly battered and bloodied, is driving home across the lonely, empty, snowy plain. Rolls the window down, spits a mouthful of blood into the night. Exterior mountains montage. Jack and Ennis on horseback cross a deep river. The crossing is a tremendous struggle, but they make it to the other side. Jack and Ennis look back at the river, looks of relief on both of their faces. Jack and Ennis take shelter from a hailstorm under a tall evergreen. Jack and Ennis pitching a tent, setting up camp. Exterior mountains, night 1980. Jack plays harmonica around the campfire. Ennis drinks from a whiskey bottle. Ennis looks mostly the same, older but still skinny. Jack, the shorter of the two, has thickened some through the shoulders. They aren't fishing, just sit near one another, enjoy the country, the night, the fire. We see Jack in a down jacket. Ennis is in shirt sleeves.
Don't you ever wear a coat?
When it's cold, seems like spring to me.
Yeah, well, maybe spring where you're sitting. About 2 feet west, goddamn winter, I tell you.
Exterior mountains day. We see them riding the next morning atop a ridge. Looks as if the whole of Wyoming is before them. The sky is brilliant blue, not a cloud to be seen.
The sky's so deep, a fella could drown looking up.
How's your boy doing?
He's 13 now. Can't hardly read. Told Lorene must be dyslexic or something, but she won't admit to it. Pretends the kid's okay. Is Alma lighting up on you yet?
Still see my girls once a month. I'm a junior. She's 16 now. Beanpole, real quiet.
Like her daddy.
Francine, she's a live wire. Alma Jr.'s a shy one.
Ennis and Jack continue riding. Interior Wolf Ears Bar, Signal, night. The bar is moderately crowded with cowboys and their women. Not a wild scene. A few couples dance on the small floor near the jukebox to Eagles Already Gone. The TV above the bar is turned to different strokes. Ennis sits at the booth by himself. A few empties in front of him. Already Gone ends. The waitress, Cassie, mid-20s, livelier than Alma, very appealing, curvy in jeans and t-shirt, struts past Ennis's booth to the jukebox, a glass of white wine in her hand. Cassie has her eye on Ennis, who is oblivious, looking up at Gary Coleman on the TV. Cassie pops a quarter into the jukebox. Ennis gets up from his booth and starts towards the men's room. Redbone's Come and Get Your Love begins to play on the jukebox. Cassie seizes the opportunity and steps in front of Ennis.
Just finished my shift. Want to dance?
Looks past Cassie to the men's room.
On my way to.
I'm Cassie. Cassie Cartwright.
Cassie takes a reluctant Ennis by the finger and leads him to the little dance floor, settling her wine glass down on the way.
Ennis Delmar.
Cassie and Ennis are the only people on the dance floor. It is immediately clear that Ennis cannot dance, but Cassie doesn't mind, makes the most of her moment, enjoys herself, shaking the funk out of her ass, letting her hair fly. During the chorus, Cassie and Ennis eyes meet. It is obvious Ennis appeals to her. Interior Wolf Ears Bar, day, signal, continuous. The dance ends. They return to Ennis's booth. He lights a cigarette. Cassie sits down across from Ennis, drinks her white wine. The waitress comes over, refills her glass from a cheap bottle with a screw lid. Cassie motions to her to leave the bottle.
No more dancing for me. I hope.
You're safe. My feet hurt.
Cassie takes her boots off, stops rubbing her feet. Ennis looks on amused.
Hard work, is it?
Yeah. Drunks like you demanding beer after beer, smoking, gets tiresome. What do you do, Ennis Delmar?
Well, earlier today I was castrating calves.
Cassie wrinkles up her nose, shivers, and thrusts her stocking feet into Ennis's lap. Ennis is startled.
What are you doing?
Trying to get a foot rub, dummy.
Interior Dance Hall, Childress, Texas, night. Big banner over the stage. Benefit for the Childress County Children's Home. Underneath, Charlie Daniels Band. Charlie Daniels, band fiddles away. Lots of couples on the dance floor. The Twists and the Malones are at the table near the dance floor. Lorene is smoking, bored. LaShawn has on a flashy cocktail dress, a lot of makeup and jewelry, but much prettier than Lorene. Skinnier, perky, restless, about 30, restless and patient.
Pledged Tri Delta at SMU, and I sure never thought I'd end up in a pokey little place like Childress. But then I met Randall at an Aggie game, and he was an animal husbandry major, and so here I am.
Oh, you was Tri-Delt. I was Kappa Phi myself.
Well, even though we ain't quite sorority sisters, we may have to dance with ourselves, Lurleen. Our husbands ain't the least bit interested in dancing. They don't seem to have a smidgen of rhythm between them.
It's funny, ain't it? Husbands don't never seem to want to dance with their wives. Why do you think that is, Jack?
Jack wants to have a good time, doesn't take her bait.
I ain't never give it a thought. You want to dance?
They get up, go to the dance floor, begin to dance.
I told Randall we ought to take the car, but he said no, the road is too bad.
Jack nods politely, but isn't looking over her shoulder at Lorene and Randall. Lorene smokes. Randall studies Jack and LaShawn on the dance floor.
But then his radio truck died. Of course, he don't never listen to me.
Exterior dance hall. Childress, Texas, night, later. Cold, frosty. Jack and Randall stand together outside the dance hall, waiting for their wives to return from the ladies' room. Both smoke.
You ever notice how a woman will powder her nose before a party starts and then powder again when the party's over? Like, why powder your nose just to go home to bed?
Don't know. Even if I wanted to know, Couldn't get a word in with LaShawn long enough to ask. Woman talks a blue streak.
That's a lively little gal.
My boss got a little cabin down on Lake Kemp. Got a crappie house, little boat. Said I can use it whenever I want. Think you'd like to go down there some weekend? Drink a little whiskey, fish some, get away, you know.
Before Jack can respond, the women come out, hurrying in the cold, careful not to slip in the icy parking lot. LaShawn talking a blue streak, just like Randall said. Interior, Ennis pickup truck, night continuous. Ennis pulls out of the drive-in. Cassie, arm crossed, is upset. Ennis glances over at Cassie, who avoids his look, turns her head and looks out the window.
You hardly ever take me anyplace nice.
Take you everywhere.
Everywhere in Riverton. Why can't you take me to Casper? Could have seen that movie indoors in Casper.
3 hours of driving to see some spaceships and robots.
So? You drive all over just to go hunting and fishing with your friends.
Ennis doesn't know what to say. Keeps driving. Exterior mountain. Exterior. Mountains. Day. Montage. 1981. We see Ennis and Jack winding through some grand scenery, always high up. Ennis and Jack riding their horses up in the bighorns, a bright, beautiful, crisp autumn day. Ennis and Jack swim in a clear, mirror-like mountain pool. Ennis and Jack dismounted, standing atop Cloud Peak, the highest point in the bighorns. Ennis snoozes by the fire. Jack gently shakes him. They both go in the tent. Exterior, Ennis's line cabin. Day. Ennis waits for his bedroll by a small, poor-line cabin miles from nowhere, much like the one he and Alma have lived in when his daughters were young. Sees a pickup coming, just on the ranch road. Watches. This time, the pickup that arrives is a fancy new double-seater with lots of chrome. Jack, older, steps out, wearing sort of modish new rodeo duds and a tall white Stetson. They look at one another a moment, making sure there is still Ennis and Jack, making sure it's all still there. They embrace.
What you do, bud? Strike oil?
Better than that. Lorene's old man dropped dead. She's running the business now. Sends me to all the fairs and stock shows to sell them big tractors. We got the latest thing in squeeze chutes. I'll see them. Easy life now, Ennis. Come on now, throw your stuff in the back. If we're going, let's go.
Exterior mountains day. We see them winding up the mountainside, patches of snow in the shade. They move up, through some high trees, then descend down towards a lake. Exterior mountains lake camp evening. They've set up a rough camp, small tent, a welcoming fire. Jack walks down to the lake, squats, dips a little in the water, dips a little water in his hands, sips it.
You get lepto drinking that. Better have a beer.
I can do better than a beer.
Takes a big swallow, passes the bottle to Ennis.
That's one of the two things I need right now.
Exterior, mountains, lake, camp, night, later. Ennis and Jack are sitting around the campfire, close. Ennis rolls a joint. Jack twists the dial on a little radio, but all the radio gives back is static. Restless pokes at the fire with a stick, looks up at the night sky, clouds churning past the moon.
It's gonna snow tonight for sure. All this time, you ain't found nobody else to marry?
Interested. Been putting the blocks to a wound over in Riverton. Waitress is part-time at the Wolf Ears Bar.
Now Ennis gives Jack a look. There's still much uncharted territory between them.
What about you and Lorene? Still lovey-dovey?
No, hardly. Hell, me and Lorene was never that way. She's good at making hard deals in the machinery business, but so far as our marriage goes, we could do it over the telephone. I kind of got a thing going with a little gal over in Childress, ranch hand's wife. I expect to get shot by Lorene or the husband, or one of these days if I ever slip off to him and see her.
Probably deserve it.
They both laugh, then the laughter trails off.
Tell you what. The truth is, I miss you so much sometimes I could just whip babies.
He pokes the fire. There's a powerful look between them. Exterior mountains, trailhead morning. Jack and Ennis are loading the horse into the trailer hitched to Ennis's pickup truck. The mood between them is tense as always, when their time together is about to end. When the gate is shut on the horses, Jack pops his glove against his leg a time or two, looks at Ennis, who is lighting a cigarette.
Guess I'll head on up to Lightning Flat and see my folks a day or two.
You know, there's something I've been meaning to tell you, but it's likely November before I can get away again. After we ship stock and before the winter feeding starts.
November? What in the hell happened to August? Christ, Ennis, you had a fucking week to say a little word about this to me.
Ennis is silent.
And why is it we're always in the freaking cold weather? Huh? We ought to go south where it's warm. We ought to go to Mexico.
Mexico. Well, you know me. About all the traveling I ever done is going around the coffee pot, trying for the handle.
An uncomfortable silence.
Lighten up on me, Jack. We can hunt in November and kill a nice elk. I'll try if I can get Don Rose cabin again. We had a good time that year.
No, it's never enough time. It's never enough. You know, friend, this is a goddamn bitch of an unsatisfactory situation. Used to come away easy, and now it's like I'm seeing the Pope.
Jack, I gotta work. Them earlier days I used to quit the jobs, but you forget how it is being broke all the time. You ever heard of a thing called child support? Let me tell you, I can't quit this one. I can't get the time off. It's tough enough getting this time. The trade-off was August. You got a better idea?
I did. Once.
Ennis says nothing, straightens up slowly, rubs at his forehead, walks to the horse trailer, says something that only the horses can hear, turns and walks back to Jack at a deliberate pace. Mexico was the place. Ennis has heard. Ennis has heard.
Been to Mexico, Jack?
Jack braced for it all these years, and here it comes, late and unexpected.
Yeah, hell yes, I've been. What's the fucking problem?
I gotta say this to you one time, Jack, and I ain't fooling. What I don't know, all them things I don't know, how... Sorry. I gotta say this to you one time, Jack, and I ain't fooling. What I don't know, all them things I don't know could get you killed if I should come to know them.
Why don't you try this one? And I'll say it just one time. I tell you what, we could have had a good life together. A fucking real good life. Had us a place of our own. But you wouldn't do it, Ennis. So what we got now is Brokeback Mountain. Everything built on that. And it's all we got, boy. Fucking all. So I hope you know that if you don't know the rest. Now you count the few damn times we've been together, 20 fucking years? Measure the short fucking leash you keep me on. Then you ask me about Mexico. And I'll tell you, you'll kill me for needing something that I don't hardly ever get. You got no fucking idea how bad it gets. I'm not you. I can't make it on a couple of high altitude fucks once or twice a year. You're too much for me, Ennis, you goddamn horse and son of a bitch. I wish I knew how to quit you.
We pull back now, like vast clouds of steam from thermal springs in winter. The years of things unsaid and now unsayable. Admissions, declarations, shames, guilt, fears rise out of them. Ennis stands as if in heart shot, face gray and deep lined, fights a silent battle, grimaces, his eyes screwing shut, fists clench, legs caving. He hits the ground on his knees. Jack is frightened, thinks maybe it's a heart attack or else the overflow of incendiary rage.
Jesus, Ennis?
Starts towards him, but Ennis jerks away. Jack moves towards him again, and this time Ennis doesn't resist, struggles to his feet. Then they hug one another, a fierce, desperate embrace, managing to torque things almost to nowhere they had been. For what they've just said is no news. Nothing ended, nothing began, nothing resolved. Exterior, mountains, trailhead, morning. Ennis starts off in his pickup, pulling the horse trailer behind. Jack watches the man who would be the other half, who would have been his other half, go away from him. And as he watches, he goes back in reverie to an earlier time and a profound memory. Cut to flashback, exterior, Brokeback Mountain, campfire night, continuous. Jack, much younger, stands by the campfire. We see two arms encircle him from behind. It is Ennis, also much younger. They stand that way for a moment, Jack leaning back into Ennis. Ennis' breath becomes slow and quiet. Then he starts to gently rock back and forth a little, lit by the warm fire, tossing ruddy chunks of light. The shadow of their bodies, a single column against a rock. Ennis hums quietly.
I'm gonna hit the hay, cowboy. Gotta go. Come on now, you're sleeping on your feet like a horse.
Gives Jack a little shake, a gentle push, and Jack stumbles ever so slightly in the direction of his tent. Stops. Hears Ennis' spurs jingle as he mounts his horse.
See you tomorrow.
Cut to exterior, mountains, trailhead, morning, present, continuous. We're back to the present as Jack, older now, watches the pickup truck fade away into the distance. That dozy embrace solidified in his memory as a single moment of artless, charmed happiness in their separate and difficult lives. Interior, Denny's restaurant, Riverton, night. Ennis sits in a booth, eating a slice of apple pie and drinking coffee. An elderly man sits at the counter. A heavy-set waitress carries a tray of food past Ennis and serves a middle-aged couple in a booth. Enter Cassie. She's dressed in tight jeans, her white blouse untucked on one side. She's slightly disheveled, has been crying, her eyeliner trailing down her face. She sits down in Ennis's booth across from him.
Where you been?
The restaurant is dead silent.
I said, where you been? I ain't seen you for a week. Called you up, you said you wasn't going out tonight.
Things ain't going out. I got hungry, so I came here to get some pie. Can I eat in peace?
Been driving around for hours looking for your truck.
Ennis drops his fork. It clanks on the plate. The noise makes Ennis self-conscious. He looks around.
I drove to your trailer and you wasn't there.
Didn't know you was my parole officer.
I ain't your parole officer. I'm your girlfriend. Why can't you treat me like one?
Ennis looks at Cassie. Cassie looks hard at his face. He's dark, distant, and inaccessible.
I don't get you, Ennis Delmar.
Knows he's hurting her, but he doesn't know what to do about it. The look on his face changes then to a look of stark loneliness. She realizes then that she's not the answer. Ennis reaches up to her shoulder. Cassie deflects Ennis's hand. Tears well up in Cassie's eyes. She gets up, begins to sob, and she gets to the door. She leaves. Ennis stares out of the window at her as she gets in the car, speeds off. Exterior, Riverton Street, day. Ennis comes out of the little post office, casually shuffling through the handful of the mail. I'm going to start that over. Ennis comes out of the little post office, casually shuffling through a handful of mail. Stock magazines, a flyer advertising a big sale at the grocery store. It's about to open the door to his pickup when he steps out. There's a postcard with his own handwriting on it, addressed to Jack Twist, RDF 2, Childress, Texas. Across the address stamped in red, deceased. Exterior, Riverton, pay telephone, day. A windy day, dust swirls. Ennis is dialing the telephone. Split screen, Ennis standing outside, covers one ear. Lorene, twists, spotless. Well-appointed kitchen in Childress, Texas. Lorene, about 40 now. Hair stiffly styled and even bigger makeup, even thicker. Businesslike, cold, direct, answers the telephone.
Hello, this is Ennis Delmar.
Who? Who's this?
Ennis Delmar. I'm an old buddy of Jack's.
Jack used to mention you. You're the fishing buddy or the hunting buddy. I know that. Would have let you know what happened, but wasn't sure your name or address. Jack kept his friends' addresses in his head.
Well, I was calling to see what happened.
Yeah. Jack was pumping up a flat on the truck out on the back road when the tire blew up. The rim slammed into his face and broke his nose and jaw, knocked him unconscious on his back. By the time somebody came along, he had drowned in his own blood. Terrible thing. He was only 39 years old.
Exterior, Rivington. Payphone, day, continuous. We've left Lorene, and the screen holds only Ennis. Ennis can't answer right away. He wonders suddenly if it was the tire iron. Sharp cut to Ennis's point of view, middle of nowhere, dusk, continuous. A flash, just a few seconds, Ennis, and we see in the evening shadows a man being beaten unmercifully by 3 assailants, one of whom uses a tire iron. Sharp cut back to exterior, Riverton, payphone, day, continuous. The huge sadness of the northern plains rolls down upon Ennis. He doesn't know which way it was, the tire iron or the real accident, blood choking down Jack's throat or nobody to turn him over.
Hello?
He buried down there?
We put a stone up. He was cremated like he wanted, and half his ashes were interred here. The rest I sent up to his folks. He used to say he wanted his ashes scattered on Brokeback Mountain, but I didn't know where that was. I thought Brokeback Mountain was around where he grew up. But knowing Jack, it might be some pretend place where bluebirds sing and there's a whiskey spring.
We herded sheep up on Brokeback one summer.
Well, he said it was his favorite place. I thought he meant to get drunk. He drank a lot.
His folks still up in Lightning Flat?
I'll be there till the day they die. He couldn't come down for the funeral.
Thanks for your time, Ben. I sure am sorry. We was good friends.
Get in touch with his folks. I suppose they'd appreciate it if his wishes are carried out. About the ashes, I mean.
Although she is polite, her little voice is as cold as ice. Ennis hangs up. He looks like death. Interior, middle of nowhere, Wyoming, pickup truck, day. Exterior, middle of nowhere, Wyoming, pickup truck, day, continuous. Interior, outside of Lightning Flat, Wyoming, pickup truck, day, continuous. As he creeps along in the pickup, Ennis looks at the scribbled instructions he has scrawled on a piece of cheap tablet paper. Comes to a dented mailbox next to the highway. Stops, leans out to look. The name is almost worn off, but when he looks close, we see that it says John C. Twist. Exterior, Twist Homestead, house, front porch, day, continuous. A rather stout woman, probably 60 to 65, stands on the front porch that stretches across the front of a tiny brown stucco house. 4 rooms, 2 down, 2 up. This is Jack's childhood home, and this is Jack's mother. Shades her eyes as she squints, looking at the pickup truck coming slowly up her road. Moves down off the porch and into her yard, carefully in her movements, as if recovering from an operation. Exterior, Twist Homestead, house, driveway, day, continuous. Ennis pulls his pickup truck next to the porch. Continued, stops, gets out, tips his hat to Jack's mother. Interior, Twist Homestead, house, kitchen, day. Ennis sits at the little kitchen table with Jack's parents. Across from him sit Jack's father, his hands folded on the plastic tablecloth. The father is tough, weather-beaten, testy, critical, makes it clear by his manner that he expects to be stud duck in the pond. Jack's mother, silent, defeated, stands. Ennis can't see Jack in either of them. Jack's mother, a polite shell.
Want some coffee cake, don't you? Slice of cherry cake.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll take a cup of coffee, but I can't eat no cake just now.
John Twist stares at Ennis with an angry, knowing expression.
I feel awful about Jack. Can't begin to tell you how bad I feel. I knew him a long time. I just come by to say that if you want me to take his ashes up there on Brokeback, like his wife said he wanted, I'd be proud to.
There's an uncomfortable silence. Ennis clears his throat, but then says nothing.
Tell you what, I know where Brokeback Mountain is. Thought it was too goddamn special to be buried in the family plot.
Jack's mother, never a part of her husband's life, endures this.
Jack used to come home every year, even after he was married and with a family of his own. He'd come, stay a week or two, help his daddy on the ranch, fix the gates now, mow and all.
Ain't get no help around here. Jack used to say, Anna's Del Mar, he used to say. I'm gonna bring him up here one of these days and we'll lick this damn ranch into shape. That's some half-baked notion the two of you was gonna move up here, build a cabin, help run the place. And this spring, he's got another fellow's gonna come up here with him and builds a place and help run the ranch. Some ranch neighbor of his from down in Texas is gonna split up with his wife and come back here. So he says. But like most of Jack's ideas, it never came to pass.
We see the color drain from Ennis's face as flashback, exterior, side of the road, Wyoming. Day, we return once again to Ennis's earlier flashback. Scene 89. Low angle, Ennis's father leads Ennis and K.E., Ennis's older brother, to the edge of an irrigation ditch. Cameras on their backs, and Ennis's father's head is out of the frame. As we approach the ditch, we see the toes of two boots appear. 9-year-old Ennis and 11-year-old K.E. look down at what was Earl's corpse in the earlier flashback. We see Ennis, his little boy's face, fill with horror. Then, unlike the earlier flashback, we pan up the body in the ditch. But the bloodied face is not Earl's. It's Jack's. Interior Twist homestead, kitchen, day. We return to Ennis's face. He knows and we know now that it was the tire iron.
I kept his room like it was when he was a boy. I think he appreciated that. You're welcome to go up there to his room if you want.
I like that, ma'am. Thank you.
Interior Twist homestead, house. Top of stairs, Jack's room, day, continuous. We see Ennis at the top of the steep set of narrow stairs, entering Jack's room. Tiny and hot. Afternoon sun pouring through the west window, hitting the narrow boy's bed against the wall. Ennis sees the closet, walks over to it. A shallow cavity with a wooden rod braced across it. A faded cretonne curtain on a string, half open, closing the closet off from the rest of the room. In the closet hangs 2 pairs of jeans, creased iron and folded neatly over wire hangers. On the floor, a pair of worn Packer boots. Ennis looks inside to the right, and we see that the closet makes a tiny jog onto the wall, a little hiding place, and there, stiff with a long suspension from a nail, hangs a shirt. Ennis lifts it off the nail. It's Jack's old shirt from Brokeback days. Dried blood in the sleeve, Ennis's own blood from their last day together on Brokeback, when they were wrestling and Ennis slipped, and Jack accidentally kneed him in the nose. The shirt seems heavy. Then Ennis sees that there's another shirt inside it. The sleeves carefully worked down inside Jack's shirt sleeves. It's Ennis's own denim shirt. Lost, he thought, long ago up on Brokeback Mountain. His dirty shirt, the pocket ripped, buttons missing, stolen by Jack and hidden here inside Jack's own shirt. The pair like two skins, one inside the other. Two in one. Ennis presses his face into the fabric and breathes in slowly through his mouth, hoping for the faintest smoke and mountain sage and salty, sweet stink of Jack. But there is no real scent, only the memory of it, which we see, too, an image of an image of the mountain, superimposed, the imagined power of Brokeback Mountain, of which nothing is left, but when he now holds in his trembling hands. Interior, twist, homestead, house, kitchen, day. Ennis is back downstairs, his hat in his hand, standing by the screen door. Jack's mother is placing the two shirts in a paper sack for Ennis. John Twist sits still at the table, stiff and angry as ever.
Tell you what, we got a family plot, and he's going in it.
Ennis, resigned to this fact, nods at the old man as if he understands. Jack's mother hands him the sack with his two shirts.
Much obliged, ma'am.
Come back and see us again.
Ennis puts his hat on, and he leaves. Exterior, twist, homestead, yard, day. Ennis looks back at the house, up at the window to Jack's room, turns, stands in the little yard a moment looking off. Nothing between the lonely house and the far horizon. Exterior Del Mar trailer house, afternoon. The wind, as ever, blows. Ennis bolts a new mailbox onto his house just to the right of the front door, pulls a set of stick-on numbers from his shirt pocket, peels the one off and precisely applies it to the 7. 17. Steps back, admires his work, picks up the pliers, walks around to the side of the trailer, the driveway, undoes a bungee cord on a dirty metal garbage can, and throws the remaining numbers into the can, puts the lid back on, fixes the bungee, looks up and sees a Chevy Camaro pull into his driveway behind his truck. George Strait's All My Exes Live in Texas blares from the car stereo. Engine cuts, music stops. Alma Jr. steps out of the Camaro and closes the door. Ennis smiles. Alma Jr. walks over to her father.
Hello, darling.
Hey, Daddy.
An awkward Ennis gives his oldest daughter a hug. Alma Jr. returns her daddy's embrace.
Like the car?
It's mute. Where'd you get it?
It's Kurt's.
Thought you were singing Troy.
Troy? Daddy, that was 2 years ago.
Troy still playing baseball?
Don't know what he's doing. I'm seeing Kurt now.
What's this Kurt fella do?
Works out in the oil fields.
Roughneck. You're 19. Guess you can date who you want. Let's get it out of the way.
Ennis opens the door to his trailer and holds it for Alma Jr. They enter the trailer, and the door slams loudly. Interior Del Mar trailer house. Afternoon continuous. Alma Jr. sits at a small, tottery Formica table. Ennis stands and pours her a cup of coffee from a stained Mr. Coffee. We hear wind blowing, rattling the trailer house. Alma Jr. looks around the nearly empty trailer, an homage to Plains life minimalism. The TV sits on a plastic milk crate in front of the battered recliner. The only other furniture beside the chipped Formica table, 2 wobbly chairs and a fridge and tiny stove.
Daddy, you need more furniture.
Ennis fits the coffee pot back into the Mr. Coffee machine.
You don't got nothing, you don't need nothing.
Ennis sits down across from her.
What's the occasion?
Me and Kurt, we're getting married.
Ennis lights a cigarette and looks at his oldest daughter.
How long you known this Kurt fella?
About a year. Wedding will be June 5th at the Methodist Church. Francine singing, and Monroe's gonna cater the reception. Was hoping you'd be there.
Supposed to be on a roundup over near the Tetons.
Alma Jr. nods her head, understands. Ennis looks around, looks across at his daughter, sees her disappointment.
But I reckon they can find someone. But I reckon they can find themselves another cowboy.
Ennis stands, takes a half-empty bottle of cheap white wine from the fridge, a legacy of Cassie, takes 2 jelly glasses from the dry rack next to the sink, unscrews the bottle top, fills both, sits.
Alma and Kurt.
Alma Jr. laughs and clinks her glass with her daddy's. Ennis smiles back at his daughter, his face full of regret and longing. Exterior trailer house day. Ennis pulls his pickup truck in the front of his crumpled little trailer house. Interior trailer house, day continuous. Ennis comes inside, the little sack with the postcard in his hand. He's hung the 2 shirts next to a window on a wire hanger, suspended from a nail, the one tucked inside the other just as he has found them, as they've been for years. He takes the postcard from its sack, uses brass-headed thumbtacks to tack the postcard of Brokeback Mountain on the wall right beside the 2 shirts. He steps back, looks at the ensemble through a few stinging tears.
I swear.
He looks out the window at the great bleakness of the vast northern plains. The end.
Yay!
Oh my God, you guys crushed it. Thank you so much. That has been Brokeback Mountain. And we'll hopefully include everybody's like socials and stuff in the end card or whatever. But thank you so much, Sam. You're an actual champion.
Thank you, Sam.
And it was so great. I'm sorry I was on mute because I was like smiling and laughing the whole time. It was really, really great. So thank you guys so much, and thanks for doing it. And then this will air as part of Newfest on October 18th.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you
Good
so
to
much.
see everybody.
Hey,
Good to
y'all.
see everyone.
Nice to meet everyone.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, great.